going live, you're live. I hit the go live button and then just immediately went whoop with my drink. So I was like,
You went, now is the perfect time to drink, just after I've pressed the go live button and have to speak.
and now would be a good time to insert ads. I looked and waited and it appeared on the screen before me.
You'll save this time because I can't reach.
Yeah. Yeah, unless we were just talking. Spud Nugget posted in exclusive chat the other day. He was watching one of the VODs, and it was just the timeline was just a block of yellow for ads that were like AI inserted ads or something, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah, it was over 24 hours runtime for a 3-hour stream because of the ad breaks.
Yeah. So just to say this now, if you're a VOD watcher, I don't deliberately put in all of the mid-rolls. What happens is when we start a stream, I create a live stream in YouTube Studio. On that live stream, ads are set to manual. It will not fire an advert. It will not fire a mid-roll unless we click the insert mid-roll button, which we do now and then as a gag. However, after we finish, when we hit end stream, the live stream is converted into a live VOD, video on demand, and then mid-rolls are turned on automatically, and I forget to go back and switch them off. There does not seem to be a way to change the default to be off.
Yeah, without just disabling monetization.
Yeah, because the default is already off for the live stream. It's already set to manual mid-rolls only. So, yeah. So basically, for now and then, there's an advert of someone going, too many mid-rolls kind of thing. I'm sorry, it's not me doing it. It's just automatic, and I forget to go through and turn them off. The system sucks, basically. And YouTube is aggressively trying to make us switch on automatic mid-rolls. And also just on the mainline videos. YouTube is constantly, whenever I'm in studio, the studio is going, hints and tips. Creators could get 20% more revenue by turning on mid-rolls. Please turn on mid-rolls. Mid-roll. I'm like, no, I'm not doing mid-rolls. I don't want mid-rolls. So, yeah.
I only want premium rolls.
Yeah. None of this well-fired rubbish. So, yeah. That's a Scottish joke. The Scots will know what that means.
I only want forged rolls.
Anyway, hello, everyone. Let me just whiz through chat and just say hello to people. Let's see.
You were opening a bigger chat.
Oh, yes, there is a bigger chat. Oh, yeah. What happened to that? I'm blaming you.
You just didn't actually get there.
There we go. Yeah. Boop. All right. Blah. There we go. Hello, everyone. Yes, we are on time. Everyone is saying hello. Hello, everyone. So, yes. And yeah. Oh, also, by the way, for people who did miss the motherboard repair stream because it was like 3.5 hours long, I have edited a version of that. That will actually be this week's video. Will be an edited down version of that. I managed to edit it down to an hour. I got it down to like 59 minutes, 57 seconds or something like that.
That's not bad.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, I'm happy with that. The quality is kind of balls, which made me a bit sad. I think that PC might be set up for just really terrible live streaming. I have not tuned it for live streaming.
Oh, yeah.
It has a basic setup dialed into it, and that's it.
It's also the case of you were just suffering with an awful lot of frame drops and stuff.
Possibly, yeah. Either way, I was a little bit sad about the quality, but I think the content is on point, though. I managed to get the whole repair down to 1 hour, and it was pretty coherent, and I managed to keep in the talking points as well. I didn't have to sacrifice too much chatter.
Yeah.
Most of it was just cutting out the dead space just because I work slowly, So, yeah, I was quite happy about that. Right.
Can they be a premium roll with square sausage? I just like the fact it's wee square sausage.
My brain is saying you should try and say that in a Scottish accent. Or perhaps my heart is saying that. But my brain is going, no, you cannot do a Scottish accent. You have tried time and time again. You cannot do a Scottish or Irish accent. It's just not within my capabilities. I just start doing a horrible flip-flop between Scottish and Irish, and it's just terrible. And just, no, absolutely not.
You should just embed yourself deep into Scotland and naturally absorb the accent, and therefore add it to your 3 voices for streams.
I have more. Yeah, there's 4 voices maybe. Shut up! I like my voices. My streams are fun.
My absolute favourite one is still the one you did for. I always forget their name, but the character from Undertale. It was like the boss, where it was just like.
Oh, the farmer
text,
voice.
and then it was blocked, and then it was like square brackets, block capitals.
Spamton.
Yeah. Do you want to be a big shot?
Do you want to be a big shot?
That one. Yes, I did enjoy that greatly.
Limited time only. Special offer. Until next time. Yeah.
Oh, when is the next one coming out?
Imminently soon. Soon TM.
Are you going to be getting in on that?
I will do, yeah. At some point I need to replay through Deltarune Chapter 1 and 2 and just prepare a save file, because I don't have a save file prepped. Because when I actually did Deltarune Chapter 2, my Chapter 1 save file was not 100%ed, which I don't think had any meaningful impact on it, but for the sake of getting all dialogue kind of thing. So yeah, at some point I need to replay Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 just to get a 100%ed save file. But yeah, it's soon. So yes. Right. You've brushed your hair. Did you get a girlfriend or something? I washed my hair this morning because it was in a bit of a state, but also my hair is just a state at the moment. I'm getting it cut probably on Monday. I meant to get it cut this week, and I just didn't get around to it.
Okay.
So yeah. Yes, the past couple of days have been rough because I've run out of naproxen, so I'm back onto ibuprofen, and I've been having to adjust again. So yeah.
Have you considered bullying your doctor?
Going to do that on Monday. I'm going to go to the doctor.
I'm pretty sure you said that on Thursday.
It's been a rough week. I'm going to walk down to the doctor's on Monday, fill out the form, and I need to fill out the form and also fill out the form I need so I can fill out the form online instead of having to walk to the doctor's to fill out the form.
Yes.
And say, can you give me more naproxen, and also can you give me codeine or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
Codeine, because it's not mixed with anything else, and therefore probably. You can mix it with other things.
Yeah, or just something that's appropriate, because cocodamol, you're not supposed to take that long term. So yeah, that's still my nuclear button, but you know, I'm still holding on to that as nuclear button.
You're still allowed to take it for 6 weeks.
Sure, but that 6 weeks is going to disappear real quick if I'm doing that all the time. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's also the case of, as you were saying, it seems to kind of come and go. So.
Well, also. Like the last 2 times I've hit the cocodamol button, I was only taking 1 tablet, and it's the weak source tablets I've got, but the past 2 times it hasn't actually been that effective. So like, I don't know, maybe I just caught it at the wrong time or something like that.
Yeah.
But I'm going to find out tomorrow, because tomorrow I'm going to see family, and I'm going to have to drive my car for 90 minutes in the morning, which is when my leg will be at its worst. So basically my game plan tomorrow morning is to wake up, have some breakfast, and then eat 2 ibuprofens and 2 cocodamols and get in my car. So good luck, everyone.
Welcome to your late 30s.
A chiropractor's used much there. I went to a chiropractor. They did nothing. It had 0 effect whatsoever. So if you've been to a chiropractor and it worked for you, cool. Did not work for me. And having spoken to other that was harsh. I was about to say having spoken to other actual experts. That seems a bit harsh. But having spoken to other experts who are experts in the particular field of which I'm having trouble in, they were like, no, all of that advice you were given is bollocks. And I was like, okay, I will not be going back.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway. Anyway, yes, that's that. I look like a hippie Lego man. Yeah, this is the bowl cut. This is not deliberate. But yeah. Oh yeah, because the other reason why my hair is also terrible is my shower exploded. Did I tell you the story of my exploding shower? Would you like to hear the story of my exploding shower?
You are now going to hear the story of my exploding shower.
Okay, so my shower exploded.
Right.
Thanks for the electronic iron videos this week. You're welcome. Thank you. Did I get it fixed? Not yet. I've sent an email. So yeah, I was. So my shower's been a bit hit and miss for a couple of months now, where just while showering, now and then, the heat will just cut out. Like it's hitting a thermal cutout or something, and the heater stops working. And you hear it stop kettling, and then you have approximately 5 seconds to step out the stream before it hits you with cold water. Then you wait 10 seconds, and then you hear it click back on, it goes warm again. I'm like, fine, whatever. It's a rented flat, I don't care. I
mean, I would care. It's my shower.
I guess, but it's a crap shower anyway, but whatever.
Well, I would demand a good shower.
So I go to take a shower the other day and go into the bathroom. I turn the shower on just so it can start warming up. It's on for about 5 or 10 seconds, and then the shower switches off, and like the red light goes out, and I hear a clonk from the consumer unit.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, it blew the breaker. Okay. Like it didn't, like the rest of the power is still on, just the shower.
Yeah. It's got its own feed.
Yeah. So I was just like, that's a bit concerning. So I go around to the consumer unit, flip up and have a look, and the consumer unit's breaker is still on. And I'm like, what gives? And then there's another isolator switch that's also in the on position. I'm like, So I flip the isolator off and then on again. Go and look at the shower, and the light has come back on. I'm like, okay. Turn the shower on, start showering, and something in my mind told me that I should probably get on with it. So I started going fast. I'm like, right, let's get on with this, you know.
Let's get the essentials covered.
That's it, you know. Because I'm one of these 20-minute disassociate in the shower people with the heat up really high. If your skin's not red when you step out, it wasn't warm enough.
I mean, that's a reasonably short shower. I'm impressed.
Really?
Well done.
Are you like a 45-minute shower person?
Well, no, it was more the fact that you said, I'm one of those, and I was expecting, I was fearing the worst, where you were like, you know, it's at least an hour.
So about 5 minutes in, there's a proper and the whole flat power goes out. There's no window in my bathroom. So the whole power goes out. I'm plunged into literal pitch black. And immediately I'm like, And I know at this point that the actual consumer unit has gone out this time, you know, because I'm in pitch black. And so I'm
This isn't how I expected to be abducted.
So, Ice, is that you? Anyway, so at this point I'm like, okay, dripping wet, power's out.
Let's not play with the consumer unit.
Yeah, find the towel. So I dry myself in pitch black. I just dry myself off. And as soon as I step out the bathroom, I can smell a lot of magic smoke. Like a lot of magic smoke. And I'm like, uh-oh. So I go into my living room and I just grab one of my key lights that's got battery power on it. And as soon as I go into the hall, there's just a haze in the hall kind of thing. I'm like, what happened here? And so I walk around to the consumer unit, open the cupboard, and the cupboard is just filled with magic smoke. And when I look at that isolator switch, big black burn mark on the front of it, where it's actually obviously like glowing and smoking and all the rest of it, before the actual breaker had been like, all right, that's enough of that, and blown everything off. And so that's how my shower exploded. So it didn't like go bang all over me, but there was a small fire. So I've sent an email to the landlord to be like, and the kicker is also like the consumer unit, the actual breaker for the shower circuit is the last time that was replaced, they didn't have the correct one for the consumer unit, so someone has just hacked out a bit of the plastic to fit that in. Like, it's not up to code. So like I've sent an email saying, look guys, here's pictures of what's happened. I think you're going to have to replace the whole shooting match because it's not up to code. You guys knew it was in that state because there was an electrical inspection where this was an advisory. Balls in your court, you know.
Oh, gosh.
So, yes.
Good heavens.
Anyway, that's the end of my story. So, yes, that's it. Oh,
At least...
Stevie says my wife has showers long enough to fill the bath up. Oh, no. Filling up the bath with the shower water is terrible because you just have tepid water in the bath. You were about to say, or?
No, just...
Very well. Ohm test the heating coils. No, I'm going to have an electrician and/or plumber come in and replace the whole shooting match. It's not my problem, and I won't be footing the bill. So yes.
This has nothing to do with me.
And yes, there is an extractor fan in the bathroom, but at the same time, yeah, bathroom always smells a little bit damp. It's part and parcel for cheap flats, basically. It's very difficult to actually dry them out without really going to town. So yeah, not my circus, not my monkeys, yeah. So what are we building? That's a good question, Def Gamer. That's a great question. There's a brilliant answer to that question. Caradog, what are we building?
A computer.
Amazing. Revolutionary.
Unseen, yes. But hopefully a slightly smaller one.
Very well.
But not like Sphex size, just smaller.
Yeah. SFF build.
No, it should be mid tower.
Yeah.
Just small.
Yeah, Caradog's bought a Cooler Master Cube. Cube, spelled Q-U-B-E. And it's come as an IKEA flat pack.
Yes.
So yeah, Caradog's gonna do some DIY.
Yes.
And then your plan is to put all of your Intel stuff in there.
I'm going to put the Intel stuff in there.
Yeah, and the 9070 XT.
With the 9070, yes.
Yeah. Which I did not get a chance to daily drive. I should have done it while you were away, but I didn't get around to it, but another time.
Yes.
So yes. And yeah, this is just
some parts.
Some accessories to go with it. So yeah. All right.
Yes. I also bought the Noctua mounting kit for socket 1718, whatever it is, 1853, 18 whatever the current one is, just so just so I've got one because it was like £3.99.
Yeah, is that to fit the NHD 15?
It will fit, yeah, any of the 83mm ones, which the NHD 15 is one of.
Fair enough. Just so we actually can fit that to a modern system now.
Yeah.
Good to know.
So obviously it mounts on AM4 absolutely fine, but yeah, this is the 1700, so it'll go to, there we go, 1851 as JD says, and 1700. So that's fine. There's also an Intel offset mounting kit for 1851 from Arctic for the Liquid Freezer 3, so I picked up one of them.
Does Intel need an offset kit?
Apparently, it can get something like 5 degrees better.
Weird, because that's still monolithic, isn't it?
Part of its problems are the fact that it's chiplet.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
But yeah, and the major.
I'm curious. Yeah. I'm just going to look up a picture of the chip. Yeah.
Yes.
What is it again? An i5 256.
That's an i7 265K.
i7 265K. i7 265K D-lid. Images.
Probably get better results with like die shot.
Yeah.
Or like Core Ultra die shot.
I like your DuckDuckGo, but Google's image search is better. Oh, there's an Intel. Yeah, there's an Intel picture. Oh, hang on a sec. No, that's H series.
Yeah, but it's basically that.
Oh yeah, that looks. Oh yeah, no, it's a little bit off center. Hang on a sec. Let me just go to desktop with face. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, the die is a tiny bit offset. So, and given that the actual compute is probably that lower section there, the major heat source, yeah, it's probably a little bit offset because the I/O die and stuff is going to be up in the midsection. Yeah, it looks like the actual compute is offset. So yeah, that makes sense.
I'm just also intrigued why all of your results are in Vietnamese.
Oh yeah, they are.
Like, all of them are Vietnamese or Italian.
I don't know. Look, I'm told that.
What was that about ice?
I will not elaborate. Anyway, right. So back to face cam. Cool. Computer's low down on the die. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do I have gas boiler? It's all electric. No gas in my place. All electric. Which is why I use the heating extremely sparingly, because it's expensive. Cool. Right. This is your build, so I'm going to sit here and read chat while you build a PC.
Yeah, I was going to start by trying to put a case together.
Yeah. If we have lots of time, I also
sense.
am going to start building up something. I'm going to start putting the parts that I've been slowly accumulating into the XPG case.
Ugh.
However, we'll do that if you just speed run this in an hour or something. I'll be like, okay, well, I guess I'll go get mine now.
Yeah. Yes. Also, I got, when I was in America, some CU DIMMs.
Oh, is that, yeah. Remind me again, what is CU DIMMs?
They are DIMMs with a clock driver on the DIMM.
Okay, yes. And that is how you get the mega fast ones? Or yeah.
Yeah. So if you, I don't know if you can actually see, but if you look up in the middle there, there's another chip there.
Oh yeah,
like
I can see
in the
there's
middle
some.
about
Yeah,
here,
I can see
that's
some
the actual
shenanigans.
clock driver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These modules have a peel on them.
Do they?
Yes.
Oh yeah, so they do.
Guess that'll stay there for all eternity, won't it?
But yeah.
I shouldn't have said anything because there was a non-zero chance that you might just, if I hadn't said anything, there was a non-zero chance you would just take the peel off. But now I've said it. You're going to leave it on there out of spite, even though I'm not asking you to remove it. I'm not being a dick about it.
Okay.
All right. Very well.
Yes, and then also, is it 2? No, it's 1 cable going to 2.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And then just individually braided PCIe 8 pins.
Cool.
So yeah.
For some tidy wiring.
Oh, so that means I have, yes, there's 2 cables. Both cables have 2 connectors.
Okay,
so
cool.
each bag is 4 8 pins,
Nice.
effectively. That's not what I was expecting based off of the product description. I was expecting either 2 cables of single 8 pin,
Yeah.
or single cable of dual 8 pin.
Yes.
Not 2 cables of dual 8 pin.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Very well.
I'll leave that one sealed then.
I'll stack all this up.
Yes, let us. Here is a box.
Coob.
Quib.
Right, while you start unpacking that, I'll get the bench cam.
Colour, black.
Don't know if we're going to start using the bench cam right away, but I'll just preemptively set it up.
Mount motherboard on motherboard tray.
Thanks.
Mount PSU on PSU bracket, tray, plus motherboard tray. Oh no.
Have you made mistakes?
Well, no, it's more the fact that I'm like, oh, don't tell me you have to like build the computer to the motherboard tray, then build the case around the tray.
Oh, no, that'd be terrible. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be a bit rubbish.
However,
Because it just means that like rebuilding it or maintenance would suck because you'd have to take the case apart.
yeah. However, that is a motherboard tray with
Damn.
some SSD things on it, and also is the back of the case with a pass-through power cable. Fine.
I'm just going to step across you a sec just to straighten the camera.
Sure.
This is excellent unboxing content. Yeah, that'll probably do.
Bracket for your power supply.
Ooh.
Fair enough.
Da, 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 da.
Oh, that's interesting. They've labelled up the frame for ATX or SFX power supplies with the different holes. So they put a square or a circle next to it to say whether it's ATX or SFX.
Okay, yeah, that's nice for a quick reference then, yeah.
Yeah. Is the instruction manual actually instructions, or is it a QR code? No, it's actually instructions. Okay. I enjoy the done.
Wow, people can't see that quite yet. I'm on preview at the moment. Hang on a sec, let me turn that off. And Pell, thanks for the 100 SEKs. Much appreciated, my dude. Bench cam with face. Insta360, properties, select. Do a little wave. Okay, there we go. Da-da! Oh, yeah, okay, that's quite funny. It's done! Yeah, okay, that's fun. I like that. And, yeah, you got to assemble the case. Yeah, you do have to assemble the case. We'll see how easy or how difficult it is, you know.
Various screws.
Yeah.
Silica gel. Cardboard tray.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. Yeah, because part of me is just like, yeah, this is kind of a bummer having to build the case up. But then also, like, for some people, this is probably quite fun building it up. Like, the assembly part of it is fun. So, yeah. How much was this, just out of interest?
£55?
Okay,
or £60, I can't remember.
Yeah, 55 or 60 pounds. Like, this is good, thick steel. This isn't a biscuit tin.
Yeah.
And that might be that, you know, because they haven't had to do assembly, that's allowed them to keep the cost down, you know. So, yeah, that seems not terrible.
No. Oh, no. I am concerned.
What?
Oh, that's HD audio. That's fine. I thought it had a USB 2, a USB 3, and a Type C.
Oh, were you worried that
because
one
I thought it was going to be USB C, USB 2, USB 3.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Because we've seen it.
Not, but we've seen it. We've seen it. You can buy brand new cases that have USB 2 ports on, but even worse than that, there are brand new cases that have one USB 3 and two USB 2s. I'm just like, just put two USB 3s on it. You've already run the cable for USB 3.
Yeah. Okay.
And whenever I do that, you get people who are just like, well, some people are running old equipment that don't have USB 3. I'm like, what are you running that doesn't have USB 3?
Something that's more than 10 years old.
Yeah. Why are you building a computer with more than decade-old stuff in it? Like, that's not me being an elitist. Like, you know, just 10 years is a real long time. That's like, my Phenom 2 machine had USB 3. You know, so we're talking like 12 to 13 years ago. So yeah, just why can you buy a case with USB 2 on it? I do not know. Anyway. So yes, it does have a USB-C on it, yes. And yeah, DNL Electronics confirms 60 to 65 quid on Amazon. Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah, and then a side or a front. They also sell or supply like pegs you can put into this for some sort of design thing.
I see.
Yes. Okay. Oh, this must be the top because it's got rails with no feet. Fine.
Please continue.
really need to go in your top?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Right, fine.
All right.
And then, fine, okay. How many lemon layers? Oh my god, more layers.
But wait,
Right.
there's more.
That's the side panel that we won't need.
I was just
Until
putting the
right
big
at the
box
end.
on the floor and lifting stuff out as you start using it.
Yeah,
And
I was
then you'll have
basically
some
just
space
seeing
to
what the
actually-
parts are
Yeah.
first. Right, fine.
Also, yeah.
That's a front and the back.
I'm going to tell you how to stuck eggs.
That's a side. Fine.
Spectre says, question. I have a friend wanting to get into PC gaming. Is AM4 still viable for a cheap build? For a cheap build, yes. It depends on what your budget is. So speaking about UK prices, and I think it's reasonable to say, that if I said 1,200 UK pounds or GBP, that is roughly the equivalent to a 1,200 USD build in terms of like advertised prices and stuff like that. So let's say you've got approximately 1,200 to spend. With 1,200, you can build AM5.
Yeah.
However, if you've got like, 700 or 800 quid to spend total, then you can't afford AM5, and in which case, yeah, you're building AM4 basically. AM4 is a dead end, but the 5700 X3D is still a blazing fast CPU that is really good bang for buck, and is still, is an AM4 CPU, and it is still blazing fast and will be for a while. So if you've got like 1,200 to spend, I implore you to go AM5. But if you've got like 700 or 800 quid to spend, then yeah, you build AM4, and you will have to accept that you are building into a dead end. But the top end AM4 CPUs will still give you 3 to 5 years of service before they're obsolete per se. So yeah, so I think that's reasonable. He wants to say below 600. Yeah, you're looking. Yeah, definitely AM4. You're probably looking at trying to use. I would be using second-hand parts all over where you can, and you're probably going to have to build fairly modestly with possibly a mind to upgrade it later on. But yeah, if you're spending 600 quid, AM4, buy second-hand parts. That's where you're going to get your value for money there. So yeah.
It looks like you can build this into a case and then build into the case.
That's a lot of pictures.
Yeah, because it's obviously it's got a sideways,
Yeah, I was gonna say.
desktop option because it's got movable feet.
Yeah, that's
And
kind of the
also-
gimmick of this case, is it's got multiple configurations.
And also, it's a case that there is an arm that can swing across,
Yeah.
which can have fans mounted on it.
Is Liquid Freezer 3 going in the Cube 500?
Yes.
Yes, and yes, it is a Liquid Freezer 3, yeah. Correct.
So,
AM5 motherboards are still too expensive. They're coming down. You can get a decent AM5 motherboard for, you can get a decent B650 motherboard for £160 now, which is 100% reasonable in my opinion. I have just this week, I built a £1,200 to the customer, £1,200 system that was a Ryzen 7500F and a Radeon 7800 XT. And I fitted that into 1200 with a little bit of profit in there for me. So you can do it. And yeah, I wasn't even scraping for deals. That was just me going on Amazon and going, yeah, that looks good, that looks good, that looks good. You know, if you hunted around for deals, you could probably get the price lower. And yeah, 7700 best value. I didn't have one of those on hand, but yeah. So yes, 139 for the Gigabyte Eagle. Yeah, yeah. Can you build this as an open test bench? Probably.
how does this? How?
How?
Oh, thus.
Very well. Right, I'll carry on talking to chat because I have a feeling that I think Caradog's contributions to this stream for the next 2 hours are going to be going, how? Why? Oh. So, 140 quid for the 7700 on Ali. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, is that 140 delivered or 140 list price? Because if that's 140 delivered, that's cracking bang for buck. And yeah, I'm going to buy some of those for stock anyway. You can get an A620 AM5 ball for 70 quid. Is A620 the crap one, though?
It's the one you have to be a lot more careful on.
Yeah.
But there is like the A620 Gaming AX from Gigabyte, I think it is.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good.
Let's see. I'm going to go for a quick wander for a moment.
Yes.
So yeah, MSI Pro A620ME Micro ATX. No VRM heatsink. That's never a good sign.
I mean, but they're also 100 watt CPUs.
Yeah, the thing is, when I build someone a computer, I want the motherboard to be capable of driving a high-end CPU, just so they have the option of dropping a high-end CPU in there.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying you have to, but like, for example, that build that I did, it's got a B650 motherboard in there, so that means that, and
oh God.
You know, sure,
oh God.
Oh, it's adorable. We'll have a look at that in a sec. So sure, the 7500F is nothing to write home about, but like in 6 months in 6 months' time he could drop a 9800X3D into that PC and it'll just run it.
Yeah.
So yeah. Are we still on? Yeah, we're still on bench cam.
Oh my God.
That's 1,000 watt, that power supply.
I was not prepared.
Yeah.
I was ill prepared.
That's 1,000 watts. That's nuts. Outstanding.
Oh no.
Problem?
I forgot and bought Type 4 cables.
It's got the mini ones.
I bought Type 4 cables, not Type 5 cables.
Wah, 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 wah.
Whoops. Oh well.
Unfortunate. So having a look, and there I can see, there's a Gigabyte A620M DS3H. Big fan of the DS3H. That's got VRM heat sinks, so again, it's not going to explode if you put a big CPU in it. That's 90 quid. So yeah, there's not a doubt in my mind that there's a bunch of sub £100 AM5 motherboards out there, but I would always be more comfortable. Thanks, I hate it. I would always be more comfortable with putting a B650 in there because then the minimum standard is very good.
Just okay. Okay.
If you stick a B650 in there, you know that it's going to have decent I/O on it. It's going to have decent features. It's going to have 2 M.2 slots. Just you don't really have to bother looking at the specs of the motherboard because it's going to be half decent. Whereas the A620, you're going to have to look really closely just to make sure that it's not missing something really boneheaded. Like, there's not a doubt in my mind that the cheapest A620 board has got like 2 USB ports on the back or something like that, you know. So yes.
So if that goes in thus, the front's going to go on there. And the front, I see. Okay. Fine. I find this ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, like SFF power supplies are just adorable in general, but it is bonkers that that's 1,000 watts in there.
Right?
Any of you brought or tested the 9950X3D? No. I kind of want one because, it would benefit my workload. But I can't justify it. I don't need it. I'm already running a 7800X3D that was a bit of a extravagant purchase for myself anyway. So I can't justify it. So yeah, I have no plans to. I'm excited for it existing though. I'm excited that the 9950X3D exists because we actually have a flagship CPU that a gamer would like. You know, the Ryzen 7 is still better bang for buck for gaming because, you know, games don't need 16 cores, 32 threads. However, it's nice that the flagship CPU is also blazingly fast at gaming now as well. So yeah. Why is it bonkers? The 1000 watts comes from the wall. Yeah, you've got to step that down from 250 volts though, or 240 volts, and you need to do that efficiently. Yeah, like don't forget your pump. That 1000 watts is at 12 volts. So where's the spec on this? That's an 83 amp 12 volt rail. 83 amps. That's a lot of amps. That's a lot of amps, man. Almost tax return time. Oh, I'm not in that bracket quite yet, but it's going to happen. It's going to happen this year, I think. I think I'm gonna. I think I'll be going VAT registered in the next 18 months. Is my suspicion. I'm not looking forward to it. I don't want to be tax registered. Most of my income is labour, so it does not behoove me. But yes, actual revenue is high enough that I will probably need to. Right. Ba 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 ba. Component quality in that 1000 watt tiny PSU will be awesome. Yeah, that's how they do it. That's one of the reasons why these things are like titanium rated as well. Or what was this one, titanium or platinum? Platinum.
Yeah,
oh,
cybernetics
platinum. Yeah. Yeah, because yeah, you have to be running really nice components just to get that kind of current rating. Why not use the screws included with the PSU? Because they're the same as the other screws. So use whatever screws come to hand. Is the short answer there.
It's also,
it doesn't actually matter.
Yeah, it was also just because they said that they actually had PSU screws on the instructions. So I was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I also tend to use as many screws that came with the case as possible, just so they all match. Quote unquote power supply screws are usually the hex head ones, but a lot of cases these days run round ones, and so it's nice to use those just so you have matching screws all over. What does UK law say about having two different businesses to avoid VAT? I don't know. There's probably a way of doing that if you can be bothered to run the numbers, but I am currently self-employed. So even though I am self-employed, I am Graham Lord trading as Adamant IT. Adamant IT is not a legal entity. So I would be unable to do that anyway because I am the business. It is still my personal income. I did have a conversation with someone recently about the idea of switching to private limited, but that would cost me more money than it would save me. I would like to do that because I would like to separate my business from personal, but it would cost me more money to do that. So again, it's I need to wait until there are more reasons to do that before I do it. So yeah, you don't need to be VAT registered to do your own taxes. Yeah, fair enough, but yeah. Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, okay. Well, I'm still doing taxes, but I see. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not doing any purchasing to write off tax because I actually need the income to be on paper. Because yeah, I have been playing that game for 15 years, and it's left me in a state where I am currently unlendable. So that's one of the reasons why I've been talking. I've been getting financial advice to resolve this, because I actually want to buy. I actually want to buy somewhere to live in the next 5 years, because I want out of the rent trap. So and if I want to get a mortgage, I need to prove that I actually earn money. So yes, whoever your accountant is, they need to be fired. I need to fire myself, which I've done so. I have fired myself as my accountant, and I'm getting better advice. So, isn't being a limited company more tax efficient? Sort of. It's certainly nicer for thing, but the main reason why it doesn't benefit me is if I go private limited, I put myself on what's called PAYE in England, which means I put myself on payroll. And if you're on payroll with a UK company, your employees have to pay national insurance, which I would do anyway. National insurance goes towards your state pension. However, the business also has to pay national insurance. So basically, I'd have to pay national insurance twice for me. So it would actually cost me more money. If I had multiple employees, then this would probably work out better, or at the very least it wouldn't matter. But because it's just me, it actually doesn't make sense. So yeah. Need a zip tie for that Slack PSU cable? Yeah, it's probably worth just zipping stuff down, but do that last minute, I would say. If it's just you could pay yourself dividends and then there's no national insurance. Good luck when you retire. Actual legitimate problem. This is the thing. Is I'm thinking, I'm looking 30 years in the future when I want to retire, and at the moment, like if I retired tomorrow, I get nothing. I haven't been paying enough into national insurance, and I don't have a pension, and I don't have savings. So, yeah, national insurance isn't something to be dodged. National insurance is your insurance. Otherwise, when you retire, you get nothing. So, yeah. So you got to watch out. Wouldn't it be easier to put the Mobo in now?
I want to see if you can build it as a case.
Yeah, I agree
to then
with that.
build into.
Yeah, I agree. I would try and build it up as an actual box first.
So that's what I'm kind of just looking at.
Yeah. No pension, no savings, no house. Yeah, that's why I'm getting it sorted. It's not too late for me to fix all this, but I need to start fixing it. So yeah. And that's the thing, is just whenever people are just like, oh, you can avoid this, you can avoid that. I'm like, yes, that's what I've been doing for the past 15 years, and it's not put me in a good position. So, yeah. Granted, I haven't been avoiding it correctly, per se, but I'm just like, no, I'm done playing games. I got to get all my ducks in a row. Because, yeah, I have an opportunity.
You need ducks in the first case.
Well, I've got ducks. That's the thing, is I have recently come into ducks. Ducks have been acquired.
You shouldn't do that. That's bestiality, man.
No. I have recently acquired ducks, and now I need to get them all in a row.
That's foul.
So yes. Right, you can get your NI paid for free. I'll explain later. I see.
Can you?
Yeah. Well, yeah. All right, let me know how that goes, Si.
Yes, yeah. No, you can. That's fine. Yes, Si and I have spoken about this.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah. I shall bend my ear to that. Yeah. The ducks in the park are free. You can take them home.
Do you have a nice P2, or to go up to a P2? Do I have to go onto the Proxon?
I've got a nice P2. What are you doing that requires a P2?
Well, it's just the fact that this head actually is ever so slightly bigger.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Yes.
Sorry, PH2.
Yes.
Or
yeah.
PZ2.
Yes. No, need the Proxon.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think that is the P2 in the Proxon.
Yeah,
the
that's
Philips
fine.
2. Sorry.
Not Pentalobe.
Yes. That's why I was confused. I was like, that's small. That's MacBook size. What have you got?
Crimes, Graham. Crimes. Oh, I should have. Oh, that's what the Allen key's for. Okay. The little Allen key in this baggie here is for undoing these screws there and there, so you can take off this handle.
That's nice. Yeah.
Because then obviously you could run this just like that.
Yeah. Oh, and then that's your test bench.
And basically you've got an open test bench on there.
Yeah.
Because you've got a bay.
Could you still put feet on the bottom of it? Like, because
I haven't got there.
Yeah, there must be a back panel for that,
Yeah.
and then you could put the feet on the back panel and stuff. That'd be neat.
Yeah. And it would give you a space under here for you to put storage and stuff. And you could mount things, obviously, to the back of it as well, which is quite nice.
I'm swapping these stools because... could you just grab the towel?
Okay.
The top of the stool is cold and actually makes my leg hurt. That's why there's a towel on one of the stools, to keep my leggy warm. Oh, my leggy weggy. The towel is cold because it's had a cold box full of metal sitting on it. I can't believe you've done this to me. Maybe electric blanket. I don't need anything that drastic. I just need to not be sitting on a cold surface that chills the muscle that actually hurts. It's it's really sensitive to the cold.
Right, that one shouldn't have gone in yet.
Anytime I see like a TV or movie character that's just like, oh, my knee aches in the cold, I'm just like, yeah, I understand that now.
Have you got weather sensing abilities from it yet?
No. My elbow aches when there's a storm coming. Also, someone pointed out the t-shirt in the background and just like, yes, thankfully I have a YouTube channel and an audience, and that means my opinion is worth more. Legendary clip, I love it. What's on face cam with bench right now? That. I'm going to move that across so it's blocking me instead of the actual bench. Boop, boop. Ooh. Here we go. The duo are back. We are. Let's see. What's with the RM PSUE models like the RM 750E? Why are they so cheap? I assume worse quality. I don't think so. I think they're just good bang for buck. Like, you know, I wouldn't call them cheap per se. I think they're just reasonably priced because power supplies are expensive these days. And yeah, the RM 750Es just seem to be good value. I think they're gold rated, where most of Corsair's stuff is actually rated higher than that. But yeah, I think they're just a good option, personally.
Whack.
Right. Who put this plastic down my shirt? Ooh. Right. Wow, this front panel is surprisingly heavy. Oh, it's 2 sheets of metal. Wow. This thing is going to be a tank when it's done.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Hold on.
It's a lot of metal for you know, 60, 65-ish quid. There's definitely going to be arguments over airflow through that panel and stuff like that, but like, I don't think it actually matters that much. Long live your EVGA power supplies. You've got 5 PCs running them. Yeah, the EVGA power supplies were a good purchase. And the RMs are running $90 before tax on Amazon US. That's pretty decent. This case is a Cooler Master Cube. Is it a QL500? No, just Cube 500. That's QUBE 500.
Okay, that stuffs into that space. Okay.
Is there a surefire way to know if an EC chip needs reprogramming? I'm not sure there. I'm not very good at diagnosing ECs, I'm afraid. So yeah. Any thoughts on the Predator GM7000? I don't know what that is. I'm Googling it. I'm guessing it's Asus if it's Predator. Asus, sorry, yeah. That is an SSD. Let's see. Gen 4x4 SSD. 1 terabyte up to 7400 megs per second, 60 quid on Amazon. Probably fine. My general rule of thumb is, especially if you're buying Gen 4 SSDs and they're advertising up to 7400, like I don't know that you're gonna be. I don't know that they'll sustain that 7400. But the thing is, like, if it can do up to 7400, its average speeds are going to be half decent if it can hit those peaks. So I'm sure it would be fine. If you actually wanted a sure thing and you want to write at 7400 megs per second all day every day, I'd probably be looking at like Samsung or something like that. But if you just want a gaming SSD that's got some really high burst speeds for loading and things like that, I'm sure it's fine, basically. Yeah, Kioxia are what I'm buying at the moment. But yeah. Are Crucial still the no-brainer basic purchase for SSDs? They're still pretty decent. However, I have been swinging toward Kioxia recently because, again, Kioxia are a solid brand and they're cheaper than Crucial at the moment. But Crucial are definitely a brand where when someone says, oh, I got a Crucial, I'm just like, yeah, you'll be fine. It'll be fine, you know. How do you contact me to look at a motherboard that won't post? Can't use the phones, I'm really deaf. Is it a desktop motherboard? Because I don't do desktop motherboard repairs. I'm aware that I have just looked at one, but it's not something I want to get into quite yet. If it was a walk-in, you know, if you were able to come to the shop, then I would look at it. But I'm trying not to do mail-in repairs at the moment because they're just a pain in the ass. They're just a pain. Kioxias are also TLC and not QLC. Oh, that's good to know. That's always a good thing. Mike's unboxing smiley face. Yeah, Mike Hecking ambushed me with that board. I say jokingly. I know you didn't mean to.
He just turned up at your house and thrust it into your hands.
He lied. I don't think he did lie, actually. I just misinterpreted. Doesn't matter. All's well that ends well. It ends up being a good repair. Colonel says, every Crucial I've owned has failed. That's unlucky. Yeah, I've not had any issues. I've seen the Crucial BX SSDs fail. I'm not a huge fan of the BX ones, and I use them sparingly when I need something cheap. But yeah, certainly their NVMe drives, I haven't seen a single failure. Passage of time muddied the water. Yeah, I'm sure it did. Not heard of Kioxia, but haven't looked in a while. Kioxia are the ex-Toshiba NAND division. And these days, Kioxia are kind of a big deal in the enterprise space. So even though they're not a brand that a lot of people will recognize, Kioxia are they're seasoned veterans in the industry.
I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna guess that's there.
Kioxia and Toshiba split. Oh, fair. Yeah, I thought it was the same team. Either way, Kioxia are a very prominent and decent brand, so entirely legit.
Okay.
Are you winning, son?
I think so.
It's starting to look like a case.
Yeah.
I think you've got about half of a case there now.
It's kind of working out which bits go where.
I'd like to repair a graphics card. What's a good motherboard and CPU combo with integrated graphics? I mean, most things these days, to be honest. All the current gen CPUs have got integrated graphics options. So you know, you could pick yourself up a just a Ryzen 5 7600 for not a lot of money, and that'll have integrated graphics. Or you could pick
Although
up.
I think the 7700 is still cheaper right now.
Yeah,
for reasons unknown.
Yeah, the 7700 has got integrated graphics, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's just the 7500F.
Yeah.
And
so,
the 8500.
Yeah.
Which is the APU that has the disabled.
Why do you exist? Binning. But yeah.
Why do you exist? I know. I asked my parents the same.
Yeah. Yeah, 7700. I mean, that's the expensive option. Alternatively, you could pick up like a 12th or 13th gen i3 or i5 and just make sure you don't buy an F SKU, and that'll have integrated graphics.
Oops. I have made a mistake.
Have you put panels the wrong way around or something?
No, I've just screwed the power supply in up the top, and I should have screwed it in down the bottom.
Oh, okay.
Because I want to use the space for a radiator.
Ah, I see, yeah.
Whoops.
Yeah, okay, that won't take long to fix once you get on with it. What are we drinking right now? Nothing at the moment. I'm gonna get a cider in a sec. Because I finished my sports hydration drink.
Congratulations.
KX Raspberry Tonic. Isotonic.
Tonic.
It's a cheap Tesco sports drink. I'm trying to hydrate.
Yeah.
Water is boring, I need sugar.
No, you don't.
I'll rephrase that, I desire sugar.
There we go.
Oop. I'm going to rummage for a moment.
Yeah, it's just going to have to come off. Oh well. That's annoying.
Actually, I'm going to use the bathroom. I will be back in a moment, everyone.
There we go. It did it.
For all those sports you play, Graham, you don't know me. Okay, I don't play sports. I walk to work there. Also, my doctor advised me to have more electrolytes, so I'm drinking sports drinks to get electrolytes.
Oh.
I will put that down there.
Where'd I put my... Oh, there. Where is my coffee? Mike's son socksing. Oh no. I'm not sure you're allowed to have Mike's unboxers on YouTube. Feel like that's content for a different site. Ba 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 ba.
Are you having a drink, Caradog?
Sure.
We've got Stowford.
Wait.
We've got. There's another Stony Bonk.
Oh, you could.
There is. Just standard Honey's Midford. That's a Honey's Midford. Honey's Midford. Honey's Midford. Yeah, there's loads of Honey's Midford. The slightly cloudy one or the clear one.
Whichever one you've got.
Okay, well you can have one of these because we've got loads of them.
Cool.
Ooh. I'll get out of the way of the camera as a special treat.
That comes to that. I do.
Oh yeah, April 1st is coming up. Yeah, no, I don't think I've got an April 1st video lined up. I had some ideas for one, but it's just crept up on me, and I'm just like, I don't have time to do it now. There was some ideas of doing a speedrun PC build, but I can't be bothered to do the preparation for it. So I think I'm probably just going to let this one slide. Sciatica pain is the worst. You had it for months a few years ago. Only thing that worked for you was taking naproxen. Yeah, naproxen is what I've been on recently. I need more because I've currently come off of naproxen because I ran out, and so the past couple of days have been worse. So the naproxen has been working, but I'm still in pain basically all the time. So, which is what the swaying is all about. But yes, I'm definitely going to get some more of that. I'm hoping I need to ask the doctor if he can increase the dosage of naproxen, because I'm on 2 a day, and I'm just like, if I could take 3 a day, I think that would flatten it. But I'll ask the doctor and see what they say. On several occasions, you've nearly passed out from it. Oof, that's rough. I tell you what I did do on Monday just gone, which was really good. I went to Glastonbury Float and had a session with a friend of mine in one of the flotation tanks, where
yes.
you sit in a tank of salt water. It's like the Dead Sea, and you just float. And it's the whole sensory deprivation thing. So you sit in the dark for an hour and just mellow out, and that was extremely effective. Like, it only lasted a day or so kind of thing, but the rest of that day I was extremely chill, and like my leg was extremely chill. It was it was very effective relief. So yeah. So I need a spa week. Yeah, well, as I say, now and then. Did I have an existential experience? I did not. But also, though, I'm fairly apt at I think to actually get the most out of a thing like that, you need to know how to meditate. You need to know how to either let your mind wander or switch off your mind, whichever. And I think for people who don't quite understand how to do that, you will probably find that an hour session is just too long and you're just bored. However, if you're able to just actually just sit and relax and or just fall asleep while floating, then you can have a very relaxing experience. But yes,
Mike.
And for various people who are saying, oh, you know, tried various drugs here, yeah, these are all ideas I've heard floated. I will do whatever the doctor advises, will be my bottom line. Yeah, I will not be taking anything without advice from a doctor. So just to make sure we're all clear on that. I mentioned cocodamol at the start of the stream because that's a over-the-counter medication. That's an over-the-counter strong-ish painkiller that you can get in the UK. But even then, I use that extremely sparingly for this reason. If a doctor prescribes something stronger, I will take something stronger. Right.
My comment so far
Yes.
is that there's a lack of clearance between the back of the I/O board
Yeah.
and kind of the power supply area here.
Yeah.
So this all needs to be either slightly differently angled or this needs like another 2 or 3 millimeters.
Yeah. I mean, weren't you moving the power supply further down anyway
Yeah,
to
but
clear a radiator?
because this takes full ATX power supplies
Oh, I see.
in this space here.
Yeah.
If you had a full ATX, you'd need to mount it up here.
Yeah.
And then have the cables come out the bottom. It would very much be in the way.
Yeah, so it's kind of yeah, and like considering this is an ATX case, like it's a pretty compact ATX case, but still, yeah, that's that is noteworthy. It's a good thing you've got a SFX power supply in there, otherwise you'd be having a bad time, is basically what you're saying. Yeah,
I looked and it said, you know, oh yeah, an X size of AIO with PSU of this size. I was just like, oh, okay. And then just bought an SFX one instead.
Yeah. Yeah. Just masking the problem. Need to find the source. The source is a herniated disc. And that takes 6 months to heal. So yeah, there's nothing I can do about it. I just have to wait for it to heal. So yeah.
Oh no, okay. That's not when you do that. Good. Good.
I'm going to grab that screw just in case it jumped out from somewhere.
Oh yeah, it came out from the power supply.
Tried the upside down thing yet? No, I don't have access to an inversion table, and I don't really want to buy one, if I'm honest.
Ooh,
but
inversion tables.
lying down on the floor is how I find relief. I can, just lying on the floor, it works. You know, inversion tables, I have actually seen one before. They're cool and everything, but just lying on the floor works for me.
Inversion tables, yes, can be interesting for multitudes of reasons.
Break dancing, Graham, that'll sort it. Spin.
Oh.
Right, I was sorting out drinks.
Is there anything in there? No. Cool, I can just go on there.
Yeah, I was just about to have a quick sort out of what we've got on the counter here. I'm going to move some stuff to there. Tell me if you want things and I will pass them to you.
This is probably another side panel, yeah. Oh no, this is the top, okay. Oh. So far though, I do like the fact that you can basically just mount your rad and stuff up to that and then just go
plonk it on. Yeah.
Case.
Yeah. It is like this is flat pack. It is a mission to build it all, but I like the options it gives you, and like this isn't for everyone. You know, there's going to be a lot of people who are just like, that looks like a colossal pain in the ass, and I could not be bothered. I'm like, that's cool. You don't have to buy this case. But there's going to be some people who are just like, oh, I love the idea of doing all the assembly. I wouldn't buy it. I'd want something pre-built. But also there are other things. I've bought stuff in the past and I've deliberately purchased an unassembled version because I enjoy putting things together. You know, there's that DIY instinct of just enjoying putting something together. So, yeah.
Oh, that's not bad. I believe that these are the same. So the left and right, or the top and the bottom are the same.
Ah, so you can reverse them.
Yeah, that's good. It is actually a cube.
Yes. Yeah.
That's more what I meant is the case of they've actually built a cube, not gone, it's a cube.
But there's actually only one way up.
Where each face is different.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. Yeah. Which also means that you could, in theory, have it the other way up. You'd have like, obviously bottom IO.
Could you swap these two panels around? Because that would move the IO to the lower front. I'm not saying you should do that, but just is that a thing you can do? Oh, no. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Very well. Yeah. Apparently 60 or 65 quid in the UK, which is pretty cheap for a premium brand case.
I'm going to mount the AIO up on that and then stick it in.
Because like normally when you get down into the sort of 60 quid area, you're going to get some pretty thin metal in a case, but this is all sheet steel kind of thing.
Yeah. And then that's the back panel, which would go on there. And then these are the feet you get. So
oh yeah, just click those on somewhere, yeah.
Yeah. So I should just go.
Be back in a sec.
Huh, there you go, yeah. So then they just go like that. And you can have your feet on the side panel, which then makes it a desktop case. I'll work out how you get the foot off in a minute. And then, yeah, there's another side panel in there, which is a glass one, which is a pop-in glass panel. There's a box there.
You're a box there. All right.
There you go.
Is this the new Caramane rig? I think so, yeah. You wanted to daily drive this, didn't you?
Yeah. Right, I'm going to get rid of you for a moment. Right, where did the liquid freezer go? There. Whoop. A knife!
That's not a knife. This is a knife.
It's not a knife.
Oh, I see you've played Knifey Hammer before.
It's a hammer of frog. Oop. I've not actually looked at liquid freezer 3 before. Oop.
I fitted one the other week, and it was the first one I've actually fitted.
Yeah.
I've watched Cy fit one, but, you know, I didn't do it myself. They're a pain in the ass to fit. What's the chocolate? Bellona. It's knockoff Kinder Bueno.
Where is... It's there.
Hmm.
Ah, it's offset. Hopefully.
What is something assassin? Silent assassin. Yeah. The case, the width of the case is a standard. Is pretty standard issue for an ATX case. So most standard air coolers would fit in there. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's only like 5 mil.
Yeah. Yes.
Very very slight.
And I presume this is the AMD stuff then. Yes.
Hmm. Yeah, the main issue with the mounting the liquid freezer is just when you actually come to screw it down, it's a massive spring plate that's sitting like that, and you've got to put on a lot of mounting pressure to get the screws in. And it kind of just doesn't feel good for the amount of, for the amount of pressure you've got to put down on it. But it's fine. You've just got to have a strong nerve. But man, I would fully expect there is a non-zero number of people who have slipped with the screwdriver and just gone bang and gouged a chunk out of their motherboard trying to fit one of these.
Same as trying to mount a cooler on your Athlon XP.
Yes, yeah. What would the premium Choco be? Well, Kinder Bueno. Premium in a sense of more expensive.
Stay.
Yeah. Garn just said, yeah, I installed a freezer free. Feeling of having to put that much pressure on it was not good. Yeah.
Wow.
It's a thick boy.
Yeah, but the fans are so small.
I mean, the fans are standard, but they just look small when the rad is that thick. It does look
Are
really...
they standard?
Yeah, I'd say so. Or are they like the slim ones? Hold on, so let me get a quote-unquote standard fan. I think it's just the thickness of the rad.
So I was about to say, I'm pretty sure they're thinner than the Liquid Freezer 2 ones.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, only slightly. Nowhere near as much as I thought. But yeah.
Yeah, like that's a standard 120mm fan. Boop.
Yeah.
Same thickness. So yeah.
Right.
It's just, again, that radiator is really thick, so it makes them look weird. It's less obvious when you've got the 360mm rad, because then you're expecting the rad to be huge. But with the 240, the proportions look very strange.
Yeah, that way around should work fine.
How much is coffee in your place? $2? I mean, it depends on what kind of coffee, but my coffee machine is pretty cheap to run because I buy the really cheap Amazon coffee pods for it.
How am I going to mount this? I'll just use another set of screws. Ah.
How much is Caradog being paid to assemble? It's his computer, so I don't gotta pay him jack. He's providing content for me. Coffee pods are a scam. I mean, my ones are more like coffee bags, but I think they cost me a couple of pence.
Can I interest you in a coffee bag?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a tea bag. It's just full of coffee, and it's just pumping high pressure
Oh
water
yeah.
through it.
It's just the description of anything being a bag. It's kind of oh.
I mean, since you're pressing the point so hard, Firephone, let's look up how much I pay for coffee. Who cares? But yeah, where's the coffee pods I buy? Hold on. Sensio. I am the 10 people left in the UK with a Sensio machine. Let's see. I pay. Calc. Right, 4 times 36, so it's 144. It's £14.31. I'm going to call it 15, just for whatever. So 15 divided by 144. I pay 10 pence per cup of coffee. And if you really want a litre value, a cup of coffee is 300 ml. 300 ml.
Yeah.
So it's what, 25-30p per litre of coffee, or 10 pence per cup of coffee. It's 15 quid for 144 bags or pods or whatever you want to call them, pads. But yeah,
Would you like a
10p for a cup of coffee?
Would you like a
That's
coffee
not expensive, man.
Would you like a coffee pad?
Yeah. Well, the pods are only dumb if you're not recycling them. Yeah, if you're chucking them in the bin, then sure. But these ones are the bags. Yeah, they're compostable. So. Pods are not plastic. I'm moving on from this conversation. I don't know what this means anymore. I don't know what we're talking about. It's a song by Ninja Sex Party.
I
don't know what we're talking about, and I haven't for a while.
My other question is, power supply, is it actually going to fit?
Turnip Gamer says, I care because I drink Nescafe Gold.
Gold.
Turnip, you deserve better. You deserve to be happy.
Hey, it's okay. At least he didn't turn around and say, hey, I drink Nescafe Blue.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only people who drink Nescafe Blue are people who should be on suicide watch.
My dad drinks Nescafe still. I have tried to convert him to gold. I'm like, please at least buy gold. Like, if you don't want to drink fresh coffee, you want to stay on instant because it's convenient, sure, fine. Please at least drink gold. It's slightly less awful. But yeah. But I don't know if you can get I don't know if you can get gold in decaf. So yeah.
Yeah. You can certainly get Kenko Gold decaf.
Fair.
Oh, I've done it wrong.
Try French press. I use a French press at home.
I'm going to offend everyone deeply.
What are you going to do?
And say I don't really like French press coffee.
Oh, fair. Yeah, I mean it's so-so. I don't exactly think it's peak. You know, also you're used to actual espresso machines,
Yes.
which is obviously going to be peak coffee. Espresso machine is as it was intended, kind of thing. That's going to be the ultimate form. But French press is a very cheap way of getting fresh coffee that is entirely passable. I think the issue is you need to use a decent amount of coffee and let it brew for a long time. A lot of people just don't use enough coffee and don't let it brew for long enough.
Oh, okay.
AeroPress is a bajillion times better. AeroPress gives you more. It's a very similar result. It's just faster. You skip the brew time.
It's also is that my one?
That's your one. Yeah.
Cool. It's also a better brew.
Yeah, because it's pressure. It's better pressure.
Because there's some pressure on it, so you do get better extraction.
Yeah. Which PC case is this? This is a Cooler Master Cube 500 that Caradog is currently IKEA assembling.
Yeah, I'm also ignoring the instructions and kind of working out if you can just assume it's a case.
Fair enough.
You kind of can.
Yeah.
So I'm just throwing bits in and yeah, it works. So yes, okay. The only thing is, oh no, you actually have screws, don't you? That's fine. I was going to say the only thing that would be a pain in the arse is the fact of the hold down, but I forgot that this goes on the CPU and then you screw into that. That's fine.
Sure. Cool.
I thought you had to mount this to the motherboard for a second. I was like, oh, that would be a right pain in the arse.
Yes.
But no, you have to mount this to that.
Yeah, that's fair.
So,
Groovy. Right. Okay, so yeah, it looks like you're actually ready to start building a PC.
Loosely, yeah. What I'm actually going to do, though, is I'm going to build it with the top off, just because...
Better access.
You really easily can.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
So it's two screws.
Yeah.
And this entire assembly just...
Oh, yeah, that's
off.
super easy, yeah. Yeah. I'm kind of into this. Like, I really want to build... I really want to buy at some point a Lianli... not the Landcool 3. What's the baby version? The
216.
The 216. Yeah, I want to buy the 216 because I like the way that, again, that one, the top piece comes out and stuff to give you better access. Do you want help moving stuff?
Stay. There you go. I just didn't want to knock all the boxes everywhere.
Understandable. Minor earthquake on the main cam. What's going inside? What's going inside is this.
Whoa.
This is Caradog's overclocking bench. I can't remember if that's mine or not. I'm just going to have a look at that because I don't know what that is.
It's an envelope.
Why do I have this? Dear Mr. Lord, you are hereby summoned to court. No, never mind.
You owe us £1,500. Shit.
That is rubbish. Right. Yeah, this is Caradog's Intel rig. So this is an i7 265K.
You did it.
Yeah. And Caradog is one of a dozen people who bought one. And he's going to daily drive it because he wants to be pretentious and have a CPU that no one else bought because it's crap. But
Oh, excuse me.
on the flip side, though, I mean, you're running a 5800X 3D. Is it competitive against a 5800X 3D?
I mean, I'm pretty certain it's slower.
Oh, sad. Yeah. Yeah. But then the fun part will be, I think sometimes the fun part is just dropping down to lower end hardware and just seeing how you feel about it as well. You know, because sometimes you'll drop to something slower and you'll be like, and you get used to running top end hardware and you lose touch with what mid-range is like. And like, it feels a little bit weird calling an i7 and a 9070 XT mid-range, but like, you're running a 5800X 3D and a 4090 at the moment. Oh, sorry, a 7900 XTX. Yeah. You're running flagship stuff at the moment. So this is mid-range by comparison. But yeah, stepping down a couple of notches is really healthy sometimes, just to go, okay, what's it actually like? What do you actually lose when you come off of the actual top end? It's the same reason why, you know, at some point I want to try running a mid-range graphics card in my PC for a bit, because, you know, I see people who are doing similar stuff to me who are running much lower graphics cards. I'm just like, do you really get by with that? And apparently they do. And I'm like, what's that experience actually like? You know,
it's awful.
Ordered to court for past streaming crimes. They've caught up with me. TV license, yeah. Non-zero chance because I tell them where to go on a regular basis.
We've got a license for that TV.
No, I don't even have the TV, so they can actually F off. There are so many letters in my mailbox from the TV licensing agency that I just ignore because I'm like, I don't have a TV. I told you I didn't have a TV when I moved in 5 years ago. Go away. Anyway. Yes, this motherboard is indeed the Tai Chi. What is it specifically?
The OCF, or actually the OC formula.
OC formula Tai Chi.
Oh.
The Tai Chi OC
the
formula.
toasty.
Yes. It's the fancy overclocking board.
Yeah,
it does look like a Gigabyte UD, but it is not.
Yeah, mate. What?
I almost feel like it's a UD in spirit, isn't it? Because like the Gigabyte UD boards aren't what they used to be, but I feel like that is actually kind of in the spirit of what the UD boards once were. They were kind of a
it's kind of in there.
They weren't hardcore overclocking, but they were a no nonsense performance board, weren't they?
Yeah, I mean it's kind of what the like the SoC used to be, or like the Force. I couldn't remember what the line was called. Yeah.
Yeah, Lingonberry says, my daily's a 7900X and my PSU failed. I used my spare 5500 box for about a week and have to admit I had zero issues with my daily tasks. Yeah, were you gaming on that? Because I'd imagine you probably felt gaming drop off a little bit. But yeah, certainly, you know, if you're not gaming and you're just doing desktop work, you could go down a long way these days and not notice. For office computers are a solved problem, and just very modest hardware will be completely fine.
And there's another one.
Another one. The Breville motherboard, toasty. I see. Got the new OC formula. I'm jelly. Yeah, it's a cool board. We did a stream where we were exploring this thing, and it's a bit weird. There are a lot of features on it that don't seem to work very well, that it was supposed to do and didn't work quite how we expected. But like on paper, it's extremely cool. Oh. If you're interested in this board, if you dig back through the VODs, there was a stream where we unboxed and set this up originally and took it for a joyride. It's fairly dry content of Caradog just messing around with it, but you know, we certainly looked over the features a bit more and tinkered with them. We didn't really do much particularly special because a lot of it was fairly esoteric.
Yeah.
it feels like this was built by overclockers with a lot of features on that they were like, oh yeah, no, that doesn't quite work, but we put it on there anyway. And we're like, what do you mean it doesn't work? Yeah, no, that's just not been implemented yet. But it's on the board. Yeah, that's just not finished. Okay?
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, at face value it works though. What are you thinking?
Can you look at the manual for this and tell me if the M22 slot takes PCIe lanes away from somewhere?
All right, stand by. The camera started auto-tracking the top of your head somehow. All right, let's turn off gestures. I've just switched that off. Yeah. Hold on. Enable auto-tracking. That is off. Why aren't you moving? I'll try turning tracking on then off again. Hold on. Enable auto tracking. Disable auto tracking. Gimbal control.
Click the reset.
Yeah, I'll fix this in just a moment. Let me get the thing that you need so you can carry on working. Right. So this was ASRock.
Yeah, if you just put it. Yeah.
OC
OCF.
formula.
Yeah. Just searching for the Taichi OCF does find it. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, yeah. We need a manual. Manual. Support. Manual. English user manual. Download. Okay, right. And let's see. Installing M.2 installation guide, page 67. Right, that's how to install it. Which lanes have which? It does not say. It just has 4 different versions of how to install an M.2. Let's check the spec. Maybe that will tell us. 6 M.2 sockets. No. Right, what was your original question again?
Slot M22.
Yeah.
Does it take lanes from anywhere else?
Yeah, I think M22 is CPU connected. I need to verify that. It's got, yeah, expansion slot. It has 2. Oh wait, no, sorry, that's PCIe things. I'm asleep here.
You need to go
where
down
are the
to
USB rear panel storage? Okay,
Yeah,
there we go. Yeah, M22 is CPU connected.
and is Gen 4.
Yeah,
Sorry, yeah, so it's using the Gen 4 lanes, so that's fine.
yeah, there we go. Yeah,
Yeah, so it's using the CPU Gen 4 lanes, and then this one's using the CPU Gen 5 lanes.
cool.
Neato.
Excellent. Right, I'm gonna go
See,
back.
this is the way around it makes sense to have multiple M.2, because it's using the 2 different generations of the dedicated CPU lanes.
Yes. Yeah, I've heard that there are a couple of boards out there where some of the M.2 slots will steal lanes from the primary PCI Express slot, and I'm like, why would you design a board that does that? Why would you design a gaming motherboard that does that?
Because people want more M.2s. They need more of them.
Yeah.
Also, where's your paper towel?
It's here. I was going to say I had it at the start of the stream. Alright. Cool. Right, I'm going to fix the camera. Hello, other side of the room. Look, there's the face cam. Let's zoom in on the face cam.
Oh. Excuse me a second.
we can look at ourselves in the camera. Caradog is dismiking for a phone call. Anyway, right. Whoop. Let's go for an exploration, everyone. Welcome to the shop that's just a bomb site. Look at all this cardboard. This is my life. I'm a nervous wreck. Everything is awful. All right. Let's come back down to the actual bench now. Whoop. And boop. Level. It's good enough for America. Actually, I think down a little bit. There we go. And have a little bit of punch in. There we go. All right. Right, where are we? Okay, I'm done messing around. Let's see. Right, I'm going to scan through the chat. 256K is 265K is great as long as you're doing 1440p or 4K. Plus, you get Civ 7 game with purchase. Yeah. Well, it's not a bad CPU. It's just the problem is that the AMD chips are faster. That's the problem. It's not that it's slow. It's just that there are other CPUs that are better. That was kind of the inherent issue. Why is the Insta so choppy? I think the cable that I'm using with it is crap, because I've been having this issue with YouTube recordings as well. I'm using a massive 5-meter USB-C cable on it, and I think it doesn't like it. So I need to change the USB cable. I need to go down to a shorter cable, because it's nice having the big, long 5-meter cable, but I don't need it to be 5 meters. If I figured out a better cable run, I could probably run a shorter one. But yeah, I think it's just not getting on with the really long cable that it's on. Is the Insta360 Link 4K your webcam or another model? Yes, I use the Insta360 Link 4K. We run it in 1080p 60 frames a second mode. But yes, I use them as my main cameras. They are very good. The prices on them have become reasonable as well. They are excellent cameras. So yes. You can get fiber optic USB cables, but they're not cheap. Yeah. Well, for the YouTube bench, I don't need it to be 5 meters long. For this setup here, it's going all the way around, so it does need to be 5 meters. So the podcast is where I need to sort out another solution. But I have a spare Insta360 Link 2 camera, and I'm thinking of maybe doing some kind of installation here, so we actually have a permanent bench cam set up. You're muted, don't worry. I need to. I want to get my spare Link 2 set up as a permanent bench cam for the podcast, so we don't have to keep moving this one around. But nah. Is the YouTube PC the i7-7700K? Yes, it is. However, this PC that we're streaming on at the moment is, actually, an 8700K. Yeah. Could it be bandwidth issues? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Don't know specifically, but I don't think so.
Whoop. Let's get rid of all the junk off of there.
There we go. What laptop would you choose if you were to buy one today? Depends on what you need. Yeah, what's your budget and what's your requirements? I'm not really a fan of gaming laptops, but for gaming laptops, I think the Asus TUF gaming laptops are very reasonable as gaming laptops. You're kind of fighting a losing battle with gaming laptops, in my opinion, but I think Asus TUF ones are probably some of the lesser of evil ones. Then for office laptops, if I wanted a high-end thin and light, I would probably, let's go to capture with face, bench with face, there we go. If I wanted a high-end thin and light, I really like the look of the Framework laptops. I would love to have one of those. For best bang for buck office laptop, reconditioned Dell Latitude. latitude 7420 or something like that. So yeah, excellent bang for buck. The Acer Nitro laptops, they're all right. But again, lesser of evils, because I just don't like gaming laptops. Because at some point you'll probably get a high side short into your CPU and it dies. And you cry yourself to sleep as you buy a new laptop for another £1,000. MacBook Air M4. How much is the Air M4? I'm going to look that up.
$999, I think.
That's not bad. Yeah.
And now it comes with more. Now it comes with 8 gigs of RAM. No, sorry, I think 16.
Yeah, I think Apple are 16 gigs across the board now.
Yeah, because of Apple Intelligence, basically.
Yeah. Well, I'm sad that it's because of Apple Intelligence, but I'm glad that at least it means that they've put on 16 gigs as standard. Because yeah.
Isn't the standard storage 256 gigs though? So.
Probably, yeah. If it's 256 gigs at $1,000, then that's balls. Apple, that's the newsroom. I don't want the newsroom. How much does it cost, Apple? I want to buy it. How much is it? MacBook Air. Built for Apple Intelligence. Fuck, I don't care. From $999. So yeah, $999 gets you 16 cores, 13.6-inch liquid retina display.
256
oh yeah,
gigs
256 gigs. Yeah, 16 gigs of RAM and 250 gigs of storage. So yeah, the storage is the killer there. And if you want 512, that's going to cost you another £200. That gets you a 10-core GPU instead of the 8-core GPU, so it's slightly faster, but
it's also a case of what you're doing.
Yeah. Again, £1,200 for 500 gigs of storage is still balls. And you could spec it up, but you know they're gonna charge you through the teeth if you start speccing that up.
Yeah.
Sag.
I can't remember what I was listening to the other day, but it was something where they were comparing the like cheese grater Mac Pro.
Yeah.
And the Mac Studio Ultra Max Ultra Plus
Fancy.
Plus.
Yeah.
Whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah.
And just the fact of like the Mac Studio, I think you could get it up to something like $56,000.
Yeah.
Of which something like £50,000 or dollars was the 8 terabyte SSD or something like that.
Yeah.
Or something. I can't remember what I was looking at, and I was just like, or listening to it, and I was just like, come again.
The Mac Pro was DOA when they came out with the latest cheese grater. Sorry, when they came out with the cheese grater one, when it was still Intel, when the Intel cheese grater one came out, it was basically DOA.
Yeah.
The only reason for it to exist is that it has PCI expansion on it, and even then, I think there are maybe 10 people in the world who care about that, because like for most people who are doing digital audio work and stuff like that, the market has moved on. All the accessories went to Thunderbolt because people were using MacBooks.
Yeah.
So the idea of like saying, okay, I need expansion, I need expandability, I need PCI Express, legit, that's why you would still want a tower. But then the industry started pumping out Thunderbolt accessories because there were no PCI Express Macs available. So yeah, the cheese grater Mac Pro was basically DOA, and I don't know why they still make it, because the Studio just makes a lot more sense. So yeah, I thought it was dead with the trash can look. Yeah, I guess it kind of was, but you know, again,
it was also dead on arrival because it arrived weeks after Threadripper came out and was like 50% faster.
Yes, but Threadripper won't run macOS. And don't tell me you're building a Hackintosh. No one is building a Hackintosh.
Yeah,
sure,
but no, sorry, I meant as a workstation.
Yeah, but like if you're a audio if you're a musician and you're using digital audio workstations and you need to use Logic Pro, you're not running Threadripper. You're buying a Mac because you need to run Logic, you know. And should they move off of Logic? Yeah, probably. But who am I to tell them to do that? You can with OpenCore now. Yeah, but no one's doing that, Lead Farmer. That's my point. You know, are you telling me the average Joe musician is researching OpenCore and building a Hackintosh? No, they're not. They're already using a Mac because it just works. They went into the Mac ecosystem so they didn't have to deal with this nonsense. So, yeah. There is one specific task where the cheese grater is good. Is it grating cheese? Is Caradog removing the protective foil from the M.2 heatsinks? Did that happen?
No.
Okay. Never mind. Chat is yelling at you.
Good.
TL Spitz, you are talking to a brick wall, I'm afraid. I support you. I believe in your dreams, but it's not going to happen. I agree with you. I disagree with Caradog, but it's Caradog's computer. Is new Mac still repairable? No.
Is any Mac repairable?
Yeah, I mean, you could probably do some board repair, but it's only getting worse. Anyone who is working exclusively on Macs for repair, they've got to cross-train.
Ooh.
What are you oohing?
This case
Yeah.
is only using one type of screw.
Oh, is it all Imperials? Yeah.
It's all metric.
Oh, is it? No, those are Imperials, bro.
Are they? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's
I thought
Imperial.
I misread them.
Yeah. Which is a shame because
Yeah, it is. It's just because it gave the measurements in millimeters. So it's the Imperial screw, but the measurements in millimeters.
Why would you do that? It's an Imperial thread. That's why I call them Imperial screws.
No,
Whatever.
Imperial entanglements.
Terrible.
What do you know? It's got 2 screws in it.
Oh, Havocamp meant the thermal pad
Yes.
peel. Yeah. Caradog did remove the thermal pad peels because that does improve performance.
Although I have left all of the plastic on here.
Yes. Yes.
Also, I'm not using this. It's
Yeah.
these 2.
Yeah. Crazy times we live in, mate. Yeah. This was the guy who was complaining about the peel, saying that. Cheers.
One thing I will say, and one reason why you'd buy this Intel platform over the AMD stuff, is it's still got just better prosumer workstation type stuff.
I mean, what about the AM5 version of this board, though?
This has got more PCI Express out of the
CPU.
and
Fair.
off of the chipset.
Yeah.
And you do just get better, like, Thunderbolt support on it.
Yeah. Thunderbolt support is always nice. If Thunderbolt is something that appeals to you, then yeah, Intel is going to give you that support. So yeah. John David Sullivan says, make sure you remove the sticker from the bottom of the Freezer 3. Yes, we will definitely remove that one. That too improves performance. It will work with the sticker in place, but you'll get a lot better performance if you remove it.
Did you do a video where you had someone's custom build come in with that? Was that someone else?
I don't think so. I've had a video before where the CPU fan wire was trapped underneath the heatsink.
Oh yeah.
I think Sai has had one where the sticker was still on. Although both me and Sai have both at one point built a PC and forgotten to remove the sticker and been like, whoops. There is definitely a build video.
This is why you test it.
Yeah, there is an old build video that will be on the channel. I've no idea which one. When I was in the old shop, where I know I definitely forgot to remove the sticker, and I didn't leave that in the video. But if you were pixel peeping, you would see some jump cuts where the CPU cooler had been removed and refitted.
Right. Oh, might as well. Where is my RAM? Oh, it's down there.
It's there.
Oh, it's the cooling.
Yeah. You need to go 9950X to get or beat new Intel workstation type workloads.
Yeah, basically.
Fair. Yeah. Yeah, for the record, like, you know, we knock these Intel CPUs and stuff, but we're mainly coming at this from a gaming perspective. Those are incredibly shiny. Dazzle the photo. Let's go, hang on a sec, we need to go full screen. Oh, look at the chrome. It's got a rainbow effect on it. It's glorious.
Yes.
They're very pretty modules. Considering those aren't RGB, they are pretty gorgeous. Shiny, shiny.
They're not that far standard, because they're 8800 mega transfer, 42, 54, 54, 141.
Still, 8200, that's still...
8800.
8800. I mean, 8800 is pretty spicy, you know. Like, I'm sure there's probably faster, but that's still like, considering on AMD you're building with 6000.
Yeah, because these are 82s.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Like, for an AMD build, you're building 6000, so, like, 8800 is still pretty rapid.
Yeah. But, yes.
Passive RGB. That's a good way of putting it, actually, yeah. It is passive RGB.
Oh. Huh.
What are you thinking about? Or did passive RGB just break your brain?
No, I need to check something. Can I fit this cooler while still retaining the Liquid Freezer 2 mount on the board?
Oh, yeah.
I'm about to find out.
I don't... Yeah, I would say so, because it's pretty skeleton, yeah, because you haven't removed the back plate. Of course, yeah, because you fitted a hold-down plate directly to it.
That's the wrong way round. Let's try that the other way around. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Fair enough.
Oh, yeah, it's all coming together.
That can just stay there then. And being a testament to my desire for crimes.
I have a very similar hockey haircut. Am I a hidden hockey fan? I don't know what this means, but I didn't choose this. This happened to me.
I didn't choose this.
I didn't ask for this. But no, this just happened to me. I'm going to get it sheared off at the weekend at some point.
Have you still got that box of new Corsair grey fans? You know, I bought a box of like 20 of them for like £1 each.
By Corsair, do you mean Fantex?
No.
Corsair.
Yeah, just the Corsair old Airflow ones, the grey ones.
I don't recall using them anywhere, so they should be kicking around. Let me have a rummage.
Just because I was just going to replace this with one of them if you immediately knew where it was. I presume it made it to the box of fans.
Oh, it might have. Let me have a look.
Just because I imagine they're nicer fans than this one is.
I mean, I've got a bunch of Corsair fans. I've no idea. Let's see. They're not new, though.
Fair.
Where are the 140 mils? There's the 140s.
One thing I will say is, okay.
What are you? Oh, okay.
The other comment I will make about this case is it only comes with one case fan.
Yeah.
So if we're going to go that way, yeah, I'll mount them down there. So this is actually going to live on its side.
I'm not seeing anything that looks new per se. We've got Corsair fans, but also like if I found a bunch of unused Corsair fans, that I hadn't bought, I wouldn't have used them in anything.
Yeah.
So they probably still exist somewhere.
Ah, right. You.
Right.
You. So I'll go over there. I'll screw them on in 2 secs. Oh, where is the Tai Chi box? It's there.
Oh yeah, you're putting all the knickknacks in there. That's fair.
Yeah, I'll just chuck all of this in here. Ah. Oh, what type of connector is it? Oh, can you remember what the actual connector's called for Wi-Fi? Is it SMC?
I think it's reverse SMA.
SMA, that's it.
Yeah. And I think specifically it's reverse SMA. Well, it might be SMA or reverse SMA, I forget. It's to do with whether the pin is there or the socket is there, and it can be either or.
Yes.
But yeah, it's variations of SMA.
Oh, that's got a pin.
Yeah.
Which way around is the Corsair ones?
The Corsair.
Sorry, not the Corsair, the Gigabyte
Antennas.
ones.
Oh, I see, yeah.
They are socketed.
So that would fit,
That's
yeah.
fine. Yeah, so my one at home will fit.
Yeah.
I was just wondering if I needed to dig it out the box.
Yeah. Yeah, Grizz Redford says reverse SMA. Yeah.
Yeah, just because I know that some of the boards for Wi-Fi 7 had a new type of quick connect. That was just the push fit one.
I think I've seen that somewhere, and I don't know how I feel about that. Part of me is just like, I guess, because I don't particularly like SMA, but also like SMA is extremely entrenched, and changing it just means that, like right now we've got a pair of antennas on there that will fit basically any wireless card.
Yeah.
And if they change that, it's like, cool, now we need no antennas for no reason whatsoever.
For Wi-Fi 7, it kind of makes sense because they're different frequencies. So kind of if you draw the cutoff there because it's different frequencies.
Yeah, old antennas would not work properly with Wi-Fi 7.
In theory, they might not work properly because Wi-Fi 7 is also 60 gigahertz, I think.
That's a lot of gigahertz.
Yeah. So it's just the case that obviously that higher frequency, I presume you're going to need a different setup.
Sai says, time went home, PC build is done except one of the front fans is faulty. Oh, that's a bummer. Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah, job for next week. But yeah, that kind of sucks when you've got to go home with the job not quite finished. Safe journey, safe journey. 6 gigahertz.
All 16 feet of it.
So was 6E apparently.
Right. HD audio for the 7 people who still use.
Yeah, every now and then I ask how many people are actually still using the front panel connectors, and there's still people that say yeah, but
where am I?
I don't know, like if you're using like a pair of Sennheiser headphones or something like that, you're probably using 3.5mm audio jack for that.
Yeah, but you'd have a DAC.
I suppose, yeah. Like if you're one of those people that's just like, I want to use fancy headphones because I care, then yeah, you'd probably have a DAC. You're right.
Don't want to do that. Not overly, because it gets in the way of the pursuit.
Is AX Wi-Fi 6 a norm now? Norm is a strong word.
6E is basically the standard for everything.
Yeah, I think you'll be hard pressed to find something that's not at least Wi-Fi 6 now. But certainly the standards are pretty decent. I think I'm still running Wi-Fi 5 at home. It's it's 866 megabit per second, I think, which I think is Wi-Fi 5. But I'm hard pushed to find a reason to need greater than that. So like the minimum standard is very good now, which is what I mean by that. Because like I use a Quest 3 on wireless with that. So obviously I'm streaming. I'm trying to stream a VR headset at 128 megabits per second constant, and Wi-Fi 5 is completely adequate. So even if you don't quite, so even if 6E isn't quite standard, you probably have at least 5, which is pretty decent. 866 is with 2 antennas on Wi-Fi 5. Fair enough. Yeah, certainly. Well, my VR headset tells me that it's negotiating an 866 link. And yeah, Wi-Fi 7 seems to be prohibitively expensive, so like not worth it unless you're actually doing big file transfers over Wi-Fi. And I'm not sure of a use case where you're doing big file transfers and you really want to be wireless.
It's also going to be where you've got loads and loads of clients.
Yes, that's a good point. Yeah, if you're in a family household and everyone in the family's running a gadget and using the internet at the same time, then yeah, having that extra bandwidth is going to matter. Because like obviously, where it's just me on my own at home. So yeah, same reason as to why I'm not desperate for a super fast internet connection, because I'm the only one using it.
Good, fine. Go away. Do I need you? Oh, I'll probably need you and you. Won't need you. Won't need you.
Wi-Fi is coming with a provider modem in the UK. Yes, in the UK, when you get a broadband connection, unless you're getting really, 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 really cheap broadband, they will ship you a half-decent Wi-Fi router.
What is now a half-decent Wi-Fi router?
Yes, in the past they would ship you a garbage router that you probably want to replace, but again, these days the minimum standard is pretty good, because where everyone is using it on Wi-Fi, it just turned into an issue where the broadband providers that were using crap routers, people would just say, oh, I had TalkTalk and it was rubbish. The Wi-Fi didn't work anywhere, which is nothing to do with the connection. It's because the router was crap, So the broadband providers kind of got wise and they realized that they actually need to provide a router that's not awful, because otherwise people would complain that the internet was crap when actually it was the Wi-Fi that was bad.
Yeah.
Because the average normie doesn't understand the difference between the internet and Wi-Fi. Back from lunch, still working on this. Thought I was dealing with professionals here. Well, Caradog had to spend 2 hours building his IKEA case first.
1 PCI power.
But we are actually assembling now, at least. How far into the stream are we actually, just out of interest? 2 hours 10. That's fine. This is great banter. Maybe.
What are you? What are you? Oh, it's a
12-watt high power.
Yes, with only 2 sense pins on it, but labelled as 600 watt.
Oh, I've given up trying to make sense of that wretched thing.
Corsair?
Yeah, that's not how that works. Yeah.
Wait. Oh my God. Type 5 Mole X.
Molex is a good connector, so the YouTube comments section tells me. Every time I slate Molex, people get angry with me.
That's not bad though. They have given you 4 8-pins.
I should hope so, with a 1,000-watt power supply.
Yeah.
Although that much being said, what graphics card has 4 8-pins on it, you know?
Wait, yeah, but what if you got 2 graphics cards?
I guess, yeah.
But also just the fact of they've given you an adequate number.
Yeah. Have they given you 2 single ones like that? Yeah, they have, yeah. Because one,
there's
two,
a single one there, single one there.
Yeah, that's nice.
Single one there.
Yeah, that's nice. So you can run lots of singles, which is nice, yeah.
Yes. How many? It's 3, isn't it? That I need.
For
fine.
the 970, yeah. I'll go and grab the box for that actually, because we are going to need it. Who put all this cardboard here?
I believe it was you.
Ooh.
Let's run that down there. Fine. I think that's everything. Cool. Fine, let's get plugging stuff in.
Move in different directions to not create a new pinch point. Yeah, I kind of do that anyway. I move to a different foot every now and then. How many screws did Caradog use to mount the Mobo? Is it more than one? I think he put all of them in.
Yeah.
I know he's missed one. However, he's got 9 in there, which is, or 8, depending on the middle. Middle one is optional. He's missing an optional one, but I'll let it go.
Yeah, because I didn't check for standoffs first.
I will forgive you for not being bothered to take the motherboard out to put another standoff in there.
I was just like, it has more than 4. It's not falling out.
Yeah, the 8 outer screws, assuming that the middle standoff is a locator standoff, is completely acceptable in my book.
Okay.
Is Amazon still the king for hardware in the UK? Not really, actually.
Half and half is solidly my answer to that.
Yeah.
Depends on what you're buying.
They're good for more. I think they're good for nearly everything. They're not good for graphics cards, I don't think. You can get graphics cards there. They do have some. But if you want the best choice for graphics cards in the current market, you need to look at specialists like Scan or overclockers and so on. But for most things, they'll have something. They won't have the full choice, but they'll have something that's probably adequate, and you'll be able to get it on Amazon Prime next day delivery. So I still use them for more or less everything. However, if I were really going to town, like I was really bargain hunting and stuff like that, I would be looking at the other suppliers. Do you have any rules on when to replace hard drives or SSDs, except, oh, it's dead? Yeah, more or less when you can feel it. And I know that's a really nebulous answer, but, you know, enthusiasts who are using a computer, you can feel it. You can feel when there's something wrong with it.
This was one of the first conversations we had, wasn't it?
Yeah, just that's the thing about being an IT professional, or this is kind of a thing about being a repair specialist, is just feeling what the problem is. And it's really hard to put that kind of thing into words. Just knowing that kind of slowdown feels like storage, you know?
Yeah.
And that's when you know there might be a problem. But that's a really unhelpful answer, though, because it's not something you can test for. It's not something you can say, simply check for this. So, like, if folks have got their favorite hard drive / SSD test programs for getting a ballpark for the drive health, then now's a good time to speak up, because those are a good barometer, at least, you know.
for me, it was always the case that I just replaced all of my storage each time I built a new computer.
Yeah. Oh, regarding Amazon, Greg says no such thing as next day delivery here in Canada. Usually takes 2 or 3 days. Yeah, I tell you, when I'm searching on Amazon and I click the search by Prime and it shows me like something that says Prime delivery 2 to 3 weeks, I'm like, that's not Prime then, is it? The point of Prime delivery is next day. If it ain't coming next day, then what the hell am I paying for? I may as well just pay for next day delivery from another supplier. This is why I'm using Amazon, because I want it tomorrow and it's 10 p.m. You know?
Yeah. The only problem with using this SFX power supply in what is effectively an ATX case is that the EPS is too short. Because obviously it's designed for
it's expecting to be in a tiny box. Yeah.
So I've had to run it through the cable hole across.
Yeah, instead of being able to come all the way around the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Yeah, the small form factor power supply will have shorter cables on it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah.
What the hell is this?
Not a deal breaker in this instance, but certainly something to watch out for.
What are you? Oh, you're the 24 pin. Right, okay.
Yeah, in the UK, broadly speaking, Amazon Prime is extremely good. However, yeah, as I say, I'm no champion for Amazon and I'm no friend of Amazon. I buy from Amazon for convenience, not because I support them. Because Jeff Bezos is a prick and Amazon is bad for consumerism. However, I have better things to worry about than where I'm purchasing from. I require convenience in my life, so.
Wobbly table. Cool. There you go. That's basically everything. Right, how does the liquid freezer power?
Options. You can power it from a single fan header if you want zero fab. It's kind of cool. It has it's got two. It has two wiring harnesses. One of them just plumbs everything into a single fan header, and it's just plug it in and it will just work. I don't care about fan control. I don't care about noise. Just run everything off a single fan header. Or there is another wiring harness in the box that splits out the fan headers, the pump, and the VRM fan into individual connectors, so you can plug them all into different headers for monitoring and such. So yeah, there's the breakout harness, and then
you still power it all from the one unit, but you provide 3 taco signals.
Oh yeah, it looks that way. Yeah.
I see. Okay, that's clever.
Yeah, I like that they give you the option, because that was actually one of my grievances with the Liquid Freezer 2, is that I think the Freezer 2 did not give you that option.
Yeah.
Whereas now they give you the breakout option, so you can get a control signal to fans and pump independently, which is good because you want to control your fans independently of your pump with an AIO.
Yeah.
Because broadly speaking, when you're running a liquid cooler, your fans can lag behind the temperature by a considerable margin, because it takes quite a long time for the liquid to change temperature. So just because your CPU suddenly bangs up to 70 degrees on load, the fans don't have to spool up for that. You actually want them to pay attention to the liquid temperature and to spool up when the liquid temperature is rising.
Cool.
Yeah, and apparently you want to split it. Pumps on the LF3 is awfully loud unless almost off. Yeah.
I won't.
This is not something that Caradog cares about. However, for people who do care about that, I care about that. Yeah.
Fine. I think that's the majority of stuff. Yeah, okay. I'll mount that up now.
Thermalright I recently did a build with and is insanely quiet and works well. I really like the Thermalright stuff. I think their stuff is great. I use their, when I'm building air coolers, I use them exclusively. Yeah,
Where's
there's the single one.
freezer box gone?
Oh,
it's there.
Oh yeah. Thermalright AIOs are really good and quiet. I haven't tried one of the Thermalright liquid coolers though. Yeah. 360 IRGB ones are under 50 quid. God, how are Thermalright so cheap?
I don't know.
How are they so cheap? I do not, like, I'm not complaining. I just don't understand how they manage.
It's okay, we'll find out they're owned by Tencent soon enough.
Yeah. I think they've got some roots with Russia, I think, because, oh no, that was Deep Cool. Yeah, no, that was Deep Cool that got into trouble with Russia.
Have you got any thermal paste that isn't
I've got
Psi 900?
No. Sorry. Yes. As long as it's Arctic MX4.
Cool. Oh, there should be a tube, isn't there, with the cooler?
Probably.
Ah, there is a little tube.
Oh yeah, there's a one shot here or there.
MX6, sure. We'll assume it's better because it's a bigger number.
Was it you, Graham, at the start of the stream said, I'll build something if this takes you an hour, Caradog. 2.5 laters, Caradog's still grafting. I mean, the case took a while. I'm going to give Caradog a pass on this, because the case took a while. But also, you know, we're doing discovery. We're currently discovering and removing stickers as well. I'm glad we both went in that direction then.
Oh, there's a little ARGB header on the board as well. Neat. Okay. Here.
Yes.
I didn't realise.
It's very hackable if you're that way inclined.
Yeah.
You can do nonsense with it.
It's also got just like test points and stuff.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Like, I don't think you would actually do anything. Don't forget the bottom sticker in real
That
life.
way?
But
No.
it's kind of neat though.
That way?
Thermalright goes for market share. Price under the name with no profit. The profit comes from ODM clients. I would believe that. I would believe that. I'm certainly not complaining because their air coolers, and I've no doubt their liquid coolers, are generally really good and are just astonishing bang for buck.
Yeah. These are in the middle of the cold plate, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah, that's fine.
So yeah, when you screw it down, the cold plate will be offset because the mount holes are offset.
Yeah, that's fine. Let's go for a test. No, that won't work because the heatsink's in the way.
Any good vids in the pipeline? No, as I said earlier on, this week's video is going to be the motherboard repair stuff. I did a computer build yesterday that I recorded, so that's along the way as well, but no super interesting repairs. Like, people always ask anything interesting in the pipeline kind of thing. I'm just like, I mean, I don't know, it depends on what you class as interesting, you know. It's kind of all business as usual for me. So yeah. I got a new standing desk at home, so FlexiSpot sent me a new desk for home. So there'll be a build and review video for that. I'm very happy with it. It's a really, really nice desk, and I'm quite looking forward to going home and finishing my cable tidying job on that. And I bought some new studio monitor speakers for it as well on a impulse purchase. So this weekend I will be finalising my new desk setup, which is the same layout as what I had on my old desk, just on a new one. But it's yeah, it's now a electric standing desk, yeah, that's going to be cool. The video's not going to be super high quality because annoyingly when I was building it, I was recording on my phone camera, and my Hecking Insta360 gimbal stick, it kept just... I think I didn't have my phone centralized in it, so it kept going slightly lopsided. So the footage is in bad shape, but I think I can edit something coherent out of it, and I think it won't. I think it will be pretty passable. Certainly, you know, I'll go for the big hero shots afterwards, and then I can make sure that those look right. But yeah, it's going to be a nice here's my home setup video.
I don't know if they've changed this mount ever so slightly, but I don't know what anyone's complaining about.
It's fine if you've got a big ass screwdriver and you just get down there. But remember, a lot of people, like if you are holding a lot of people are coming in with a tiny screwdriver from a multi-bit set. Yeah. That's when you have a bad time.
Because I think
if you get a big Phillips 2 screwdriver and you go, "Urgh," it goes on.
Yeah, it just didn't need any force or anything.
But that's the problem, is people are coming in with the wrong screwdriver, and that's when you have a bad time.
Yeah. But yeah, it's certainly annoying having to do the ILM.
Is the FlexiSpot desk the E7 Plus? It's not. It's the E something. It's the big 4-poster one. It's one of their flagship home desks at the moment. So yeah, it's very nice because it's got 4 legs. It's really stable. I kind of wanted to have it in the shop because I've got a FlexiSpot on my main workbench, but it's a 2-poster one, and there's some wobble to it as a result. And I kind of wanted to put it in the shop, but also I'm like, if I have it at home, I've got just end game home desk now. So my desk at home is now just, and I'm like, cool, this is my end game home desk. So I'm kind of happy with that.
Uno.
Let's see. Matt of Kit Guru did a review of the sit-stand desk, and it was a huge markup on DIY. Elaborate. What do you mean a huge markup on DIY? I mean, yeah, you've got to assemble it yourself. But when you say DIY, do you mean you can make one yourself for cheaper? Because, yeah, I'm sure you can, but who's got time for that, you know?
Also, it's furniture. Furniture has wildly high margins on it anyway.
Yeah.
Not that that excuses one way or the other, but just, you know, certainly at least what I've seen.
Yeah, buy the components separately. Yeah, I've no doubt you can, but like, I've got no idea how to do that. And like, I'm sure I could sit down and do the research, but some people want to just buy a solution, you know.
Ta-da.
Yep, that's what you do with that. You just plunk it on. That's it. I'm proud of you. Buy a sit-stand frame and a countertop. Yeah.
Oh, I see. It's that fan there. I'm pleased they made it as big as they did in depth.
Yeah. It's also quite quiet, I think, the VRM fan, if my memory serves me.
There's a box there. I require one of you. Oh, my glasses are now clean.
All right. How long does it take you to make a PC build with all OS installed? I don't know. It's been a while since I've sat and...
Doing a bog standard ATX, you know, standard size ATX.
There's a lot of factors involved.
I would expect to be done in about an hour.
Yeah. I think no frills, an hour.
Yeah.
But like, if there's... As soon as you add in like some RGB fans and you've got a lot of spaghetti to deal with, that's another half an hour to deal with the spaghetti just straight away. And it also, like, if I'm working in the shop, I'm going to get interrupted a whole bunch while I'm doing it. Yeah. So it's going to make it, you know, it's difficult to gauge the time. So it's difficult to give a straight answer to that question. But like, if you put me in a room, if you shut me in a room with the components to build a basic gaming rig, I'd probably knock on the door in an hour.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, yeah.
I'm sure I could sit down and try and go fast, but I don't want to.
Yeah, like being comfortable build speed.
Yeah.
Yeah, about that. Oh, I forgot a SATA cable.
Oh, for your big boy hard drive. Yeah.
All 16 terabytes. Oh, this is only 16. Okay.
Oh, only.
Well, no, only in the fact that I could have sworn I bought a 22
Fair.
at some point.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Can we zoom in on PC?
Did
Just
I?
10% more. Yeah, hang on a sec. Let me just. Boop, boop.
I also need to nudge the camera up slightly.
Yeah. I can't. At some point, you were working quite low down,
Yeah.
so I'd nudge down. Let's just go bench cam with face for a bit.
Cool.
There we go. That's what we're looking at. It's looking pretty tidy. Yeah. This has been a slow, methodical build, but yeah. Like 100 grams in a room, will they build a PC? I mean, if they've got the parts, yeah. But if they don't have the parts, then no. So.
Will they build a computer? No. Right. Is the graphics card in the box? Very well. I do like that this case is just using the same screw everywhere.
Yeah.
Like,
I get this with laptops sometimes. You start pulling all the screws out of a laptop and you start going sort of like, okay, I'll put that one there. Then we'll start making piles of all the different screws and you end up with just one pile of all the same screws. And you're like, awesome, thank you.
oh my
yes.
God, imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks. Oh, it doesn't fit.
Oh no! Like actually?
Yeah, it doesn't fit. So we'll make it fit.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah. Okay, fine. Yeah. Okay, you can Tetris it in.
Yeah.
I thought you were like turbo doesn't fit. I'm like, what do you mean it
Oh
doesn't fit?
no! But just you cannot, you cannot easily.
You can't just drop it in. Yeah, you got to Tetris it in. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a compact case. That was going to happen. Watch you don't trap these cables. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
fine.
they should be going under. Yeah, they are all going
Yeah.
under. Sweet.
Yeah, I would be impressed if you didn't have to Tetris it. To be honest.
Yeah. Fixed by removing the bottom of the case.
Yeah. Well, unironically, yeah, actually, that probably was a lot easier by virtue of the fact that you can just take the bottom off.
Yeah, and then I just went in like that
Yeah.
and pushed it through here and then swung it back in. So yeah.
Mm.
Neato.
Is it M2 screws for Dell laptop batteries? For batteries, I think so. Yeah, it's usually M.2s. Not, sorry, just M2s. That's not a given,
I don't
no.
want that there. I have changed my mind.
What have you changed your mind about?
Where the power cables come out.
Oh, I see, yeah. Are you going to go over the top instead of under the bottom? Yeah. This is when the build starts taking a longer time, is when you start going sort of methodical like this, and you have to start going, actually, I think I'm going to put the cables here instead, and you pull things out and put them back in, and blah, blah, blah. This is the thing that you never really capture in a PC building video, because like watching someone reroute cables is very, very boring. So often that just gets hyperlapsed in a video edit. And that's the bit that you can never really portray. Is this PC going to be Caradog's main? Yeah, this is going to be Caradog's new daily driver.
Yeah. Oop. There you go. Right, where the hell's the hard drive mount? That's 2.5. That says 3.5. So somewhere there? Okay. Well, it was just the fact that I started looking, so I was just like, oh, can I?
Yeah, that would have been a bit of a shock if it didn't have a 3.5-inch mount.
Oh, I've twisted them. So I now don't know which 2-pin goes with which 2-pin. Fuck.
Oh, yeah, that kind of matters as well, I think.
Damn it.
That's vexing.
Right, we'll do this one at a time. We'll plug it in and then they won't get confused. Also, as a special treat, find the big tub of cable ties.
Oh, let me go. I'll go hunting for that. That's been missing in action. I was looking for it earlier on and I couldn't see it.
Ah, I have cable ties.
Ah, good. Yeah. I had a quick cast around earlier on because I was looking for it earlier on and I couldn't see it on any surfaces. And I'm like, what happened to that? It can't be far away, but also I don't know where it is. No, I've lost sight of it and my leg hurts, so I'm going to go back to standing up anyway.
And I'm going to triple check that this goes back to the same connector.
Oof.
Which it almost certainly does. Yes. Good. These are one bundle of cables. Stay.
I kind of wish the 8-pin power connector had just killed the 6-pin.
Yeah.
Just to avoid just this.
There you go.
Case looks cool the way it is now, like an open design. Yeah. This is kind of what's neat about these Corsair Cooler Master Cube designs.
Whoop.
They're definitely not for everyone, but you can kind of see, like, again, it's not for me, but I see the appeal. I'm glad that stuff like this exists. I think it's cool. AJ Havacam says, my Intel A770 is an 8-pin and a 6-pin. Yeah, exactly. It's just like, why? Just make it dual 8 pins.
Yeah.
Because then we just don't have to bother. Because if we killed the 6-pin, we wouldn't have to worry about
right?
split connectors.
Very silly. Oh, that's a better way of doing it.
Have you got that on the correct side? I don't think you have.
Oh, fuck, no I don't.
Kill pigtail 8 pins next.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Just give me 8 pins.
Yeah. Yeah. Got to run. Work at 3 a.m. Oof. Good luck, Sleepwalker. Take care.
Okay. I don't entirely understand how the 8-pin works.
Me either.
Because doesn't the 8-pin not actually have more power on it?
So,
isn't it just a sense and a ground?
It's a sense and a ground. And that can make sense because... so, I'm not 100% certain on this. However, in a buck regulator, you're switching high voltage to low voltage. And when your high side MOSFETs switch off and the power goes low, the low side MOSFET cuts in. So it connects the coils on your VRM to ground, and then you have a positive output and a ground source on your VRM, providing output while the high side is off. So, and because you're converting high voltage to low voltage, the low part of the cycle is bigger than the high part of the cycle. So a lot of current is actually being sourced from ground because electron flow comes from ground.
What, because you're stepping down the voltage?
Yes, and I'm not going to give absolute answers to that because I'm not 100% certain. But suffice to say, the low sides actually do more work than the high sides. And I think that might be why on the 8-pin is an extra ground connector, because the low sides actually need a bigger source. So I think that's to do with it. But yeah, don't quote me on that.
As a layperson, is the ground in this here connector not the same as the ground that's here?
Theoretically, it should all be commoned together, yes. It doesn't have to be. However...
Why not?
Because it can be floating.
But if this component is plugged into this power, how can it have a different ground?
If the grounds aren't connected, then it would be floating because it's a separate circuit. However, in a computer system, everything just gets commoned to the same ground. But you don't want to be sourcing from chassis ground because you can't. That's not where it. That's not a engineered ground per se. But interestingly, though, this is completely different to how a car would work, where just everything is chassis ground. You only ever run 12 volts or something. You never run a negative pin. You just connect it to the chassis. So it's kind of weird like that. So yes. ELHV says yes, but the high current is local to the card. The 8-pin doesn't see any of it. Yeah. Yeah. I think I follow, but I'd have to sit down and hold my head in my hands to grasp it super quick. Rolling back a bit, there was a couple of other questions. Firstly, just a quick one from Firephone. Is long-term support client a way to go in the future? No, Windows 11 is. I will not elaborate. Will G says, do you think the PC industry will ever give up on 12 volt power and make a 24 or 48 volt standard for the GPUs? If they keep making them high power, which is the direction the 50 series has gone in, we thought after the 40 series, I was like, they can't pull any more power. They have to start improving efficiency. But then the 50 series came out and it's even more thirsty. So if they keep going that way, they're going to have to. They're going to have to make a new standard. Now, ideally, one would imagine if you're going to add a new voltage rail, go big or go home, a la make it 48 volt. The difficulty is that that would require a complete paradigm shift in power supplies. But here's the kicker. 24 volt, not actually that difficult. Standard consumer grade MOSFETs that are used in modern power supplies are rated for 24 volts. So you could actually add a 24 volt rail to a power supply. That would also be a paradigm shift. But the problem is that there doesn't exist a MOSFET for making a fast switching 48 volt rail suitable for a PC, or at least not mainstream. But the current components that we're already using in power supplies could do 24 volts if you configured them for that. So 24 volts, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to do it or not, but it is possible and it would be a good idea.
Yeah. The heat output of a smart power stage is dependent on the voltage that it's outputting, basically. In as much as if it's outputting to a higher voltage, it can carry the same current with less heat, right?
That would make sense, yeah, because generally speaking, current is usually what is generating the heat.
Yeah.
But also, that's not a straight answer to that because it's also just efficiency and stuff like that.
Because obviously, assuming, we assume all of them are, say, 90% efficient at whatever current they're doing. If it's stepping down from 24 volts to, say, 5 volt, it doesn't need to be that fast. Or 48 volt to 5 volt. It doesn't need to be that fast. And then you run your actual V-core off of 5 volt.
Yeah, or you start doing fiver.
Effectively. That's what I was thinking. Effectively a fiver, but obviously removed it one stage because obviously you're inputting 48 volt, and you don't actually want that going into your silicon anywhere.
To elaborate, Intel CPUs with what's called FIVR, FIVR, they have the
fully integrated voltage regulator.
The actual V-core regulator is inside the CPU. So the CPU VRMs are actually just a primary step down, and the final voltage is generated inside the chip. So if you were to do 24, you could do 24 volts to the graphics card and then still run, and then you could still run VRMs on the graphics card to further step down the voltage. And those VRMs would have a much easier time because they've only got to do 24 volts down or whatever instead.
Yeah.
So yeah, something along those lines, maybe. Just to wind up another comment that came up is Dave Weldon says, no need for changes in those directions. I want to see PCs get less greedy and demanding on power. I agree, but yeah, we'll see. We would need a massive swing right now though, because even if we see efficiency improve, like the 30 and 40 series were still flying close to the sun. So even a dramatic improvement in efficiency, where we would get more speed and less power usage, would still require a massive swing to solve this problem. You haven't connected up the extension. Can you get it? You can get that in there.
Yeah, but it's more the fact than just like, ah!
You just need to have small childlike hands.
I need a small child.
Do you need my small childlike hands?
Fetch me a boy.
I'm a real boy. To what extent does user safety come into this? You're fine up to 48 volts. It's when you get to 50 volts and above that you have to start worrying. 48 volts is still touch safe. It's starting to get spicy, but 48 volts is still touch safe. And by touch safe, I mean you can touch a 48 volt supply to ground and you're not going to get shocked. I mean, if you've got wet hands, that might start being a concern, but like, what are you doing? You know. But yeah. So 24 volts, completely fine.
Getting there.
Let's see. The heat output is current squared resistance. So the power dissipation goes up with the square of the current plus switching losses that go up with frequency. Interesting. Using a higher input voltage means you've got to use FETs with a high voltage rating. Those have a higher on resistance, so you get more heat. Yeah. But that's my understanding, is the current FETs we're using are rated for 24 volts, right? Although someone said that that's too close to their voltage rating, so they might have a shorter lifespan. Telephone line has got 40 volts. I can't remember how.
Yeah.
I can't remember how big it is. Yeah, but I know phone wires are running a fairly high voltage.
Yeah, your what's called the ringer circuit.
Yeah.
It's the thing that actually rings the bell.
Yeah. But yes, yeah, voltage doesn't get spicy until you get to like 50 volts plus. That's when you've got to start thinking about it. Have you got a plate for those, or have you got to screw that in from the other side, which you can't do now?
No, you can't screw it in from the other side because it doesn't line up. So I'm not sure.
I've got a feeling you needed to put this hard drive in about an hour ago.
Or it just doesn't go there. Because it doesn't line up with the runners either.
Let's have a look. See. Right. Those line up.
Oh goodness. Where to install your D5 or DDC? Oh, they have little grommetty doodads.
Yeah. That's not immediately obvious now.
Which screw into a cage? There should be a cage somewhere.
I was going to say, I find it hard to believe that there's no cage for this.
Please take my feet.
Whoop. I've got your feet. Feet pics. Oh, we're not on bench cam, never mind.
I'm going to mount these up so we know where they are.
Have we got any secret plates that we've put to one side and not
I
noticed?
presume there's another layer under that in the box. Oh my god, get in. There we go.
Whoop. Nope, that's all she wrote.
Oh, okay.
What do the instructions say?
There's like little grommets and it kind of looks like there's a plate.
Yeah.
So I was just like,
Oh, I think it kind of just clicks in, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, you've got to we fit the grommets to the bottom of the hard drive and I think it sort of goes bump into place.
Yeah. Oh, ah! There you go.
We've grabbed the destructions, folks.
Right.
So yeah, we need to find some D-type screws. Are they labelled?
Are these the D types?
I think.
If you look at the.
Where's our guide? Where's our parts guide?
Yeah.
HDD mounting pin.
Yeah, it must be these.
So the SSD mounting pins look like they're flat heads, and the HDD mounting pins are cross heads, which I think is how you know which one is which.
Oh, it's got a standoff screw. Nice.
Yeah, so that's an SSD one because it's a flat head.
What's that do?
Probably for 2.5-inch SSDs. I think that's what they mean by quote-unquote SSD. They mean 2.5-inch.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how it mounts to the case.
Yeah, so then there should be some rubber grommets. So basically you're going to put the screws into the bottom of the drive and then the rubber grommets will go in there, and I think it's just an interference fit. What the hell, is that a mechanical hard drive? It is, but it's 16 terabytes, which is why it's a mechanical drive. Because if you want 16 plus terabytes, you ain't doing that on SSDs unless you've unless you want to spend $1,000 on SSDs.
Yeah. 8 terabyte SSDs are still wildly expensive.
Yeah.
SWAT is saying that.
Yeah, so now we need to find the rubber grommets.
I just don't know what they go into.
These holes.
But if they go into those holes, where's it go here?
Well, hold on. Let's find the rubber grommets first and then put them into the holes that it specifies. So,
where are the grommets?
I mean, you've got... Oh, they're in that bag there.
Ah,
yep.
They're in this bag.
Yeah. This definitely feels like a bit of an afterthought, this section, but...
So which way round does it suggest that these
Right, so it says it's going sideways, so it's running lengthways with the board.
Okay.
And it says it's going... So, yeah, it must be those two, and... I don't know what planet this hard drive is from that they've got here. Because that's not the screw pattern. Hang on a sec, I'm just going to grab another. Oh, I think it's your drive. Oh, yeah, look. Let's have a look at the bottom of your drive. Yeah, your drive has different mounting patterns on it.
Wild.
Yeah. Hang on a sec, let's just go to the bench cam just to... Whoops. This is why nothing is making sense.
What?
Bench cam with face. Yeah. This is a standard hard drive. Notice how the holes are close together. That makes sense to these holes here.
Yeah.
But this drive doesn't have these. This drive has a different hole pattern on it.
Wild.
You lose. Good day, sir. Were we on shot then? I think we were on shot. Yeah. Mount plate metal strip. Yeah, it's going to need an adapter plate of some sorts. We could 3D print something, but we can't do that right now. But yeah, you might have to. I don't think you can do anything with that this second, unless you just put in 2 holes and a zip tie.
So what's it actually even suggesting? Is it suggesting?
Yeah, where's the connector? Yeah, something along those lines, I think. And then that will just... I think you might want to put the grommets into the holes. Yeah, you put the grommets in the holes first. Bet on Amazon there's some adapter plate. I don't think so. Like, it's not something that's missing from the kit. This is just an unexpected drive, I think. From 12 terabyte onwards, the pattern changed on some drives. Yeah.
I see.
Just make new holes. Got it solved. Get the Dremel. Yeah, well, that sucks. The problem is the clearance is pretty tight on that. Even if we 3D printed an adapter plate, I don't know if we've got enough room to spare.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's leave that out for a sec. What I suggest, we're at the 3-hour marker. I would suggest that we close it up.
That mounts reasonably well.
Yeah, I would suggest that we close it up, turn it on, and go, hey, look at that, it posts, and wrap up the stream, because that's something that's going to require some head scratching, and we don't need to go into a 4-hour stream of head scratching on this one, I don't think.
Yeah.
Double-sided sticky pad. That's the other reason why I'm saying that, because there's a non-zero chance that there'll be a ghetto solution to this. So we'll commit crimes off camera, you know.
Right, where are my feet?
So yeah.
Is that one? Yeah.
Yeah, because like double-sided tape, Velcro, something like that, that's a solution. There might be enough clearance to 3D print an adapter plate, which I would be very interested in trying to measure up, because I like solutions like that, because I have the technology to do solutions like that. But we don't have time to start mapping that out right now. So...
Oops. Right. Okay.
That's a solution for later. Wrap it up. My stream starts in a bit. Yeah. all right, all right. Get that bad boy plugged in.
There you go. And then capture card. Damn it.
You checked the clearance on that earlier on, or is it just being finicky?
I'm just being special.
Okay, understandable. BIOS upgrade. This will already be on the latest. This board has been used in a couple of streams already.
There you go.
So.
And capture card.
Test it. Let us see the magic smoke. Yeah, we'll give it a post test. Well, it will boot to Windows because these are Windows drives, but also, are these your daily driver SSDs?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll go straight into BIOS. These SSDs are not checked for stream safe. They will likely have work information on and stuff like that. So, top secret.
There you go. Actually, here we go.
Will this become a no post on Sunday? Yeah. I said that the PC that I built yesterday when I was filming, because I finished up like half an hour after close, so the video has a fairly abrupt end where I just turned it on with no monitor connected and be like, cool, the post lights have gone off, that means it works. Thanks for watching, everyone, I'll see you next time. It looks like it's posted. If it hasn't, you'll be seeing this on a no post on Sunday stream very soon. So
go. Being able to drop the top off there was very convenient.
I was about to say, I really like how these panels are just 2 screws and the panel comes off.
Yeah.
That's actually really
There you
nice. It's yeah, like it's not this isn't a gimmick. It actually
Yeah.
works, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, I'm going to grab some cables for you.
Yes.
Do you want to show the glass side panel just for posterity?
I will do. I was
Yeah.
also just going to show this, which is the fan thing that can go in like that. And basically, if you didn't have an AIO, you can just have fans here.
Extra intake fan.
Yeah, you can just have a fan mounted here. So obviously, if you ran it with the
Oh
side
yeah, if
off,
you're running it open.
say,
Yeah.
or you put the mesh one from
On-
that side
yeah.
on that side and the glass one on that side, you could have just a fan just blowing straight down on there,
Yeah.
which is neat. And also, obviously, it goes in that position as well. So if you wanted, I guess you could have it kind of blowing on this stuff.
Cool. Actually, I'm not going to bother with the capture card. We'll just point the camera at the monitor. We're out of time, so we're not going to do any major testing anyway. It's basically just going to be a, hey, look, it works kind of deal.
Pow. Okay, that's reasonably neat.
Whoop.
I'm going to flip it back on its side too. So
Yep.
Whoa, there you go. Because this is how I'm actually going to use it.
Fair enough.
Because it's going to, live on my shelf next to my desk. Like this.
Cool. Right, you've got that, you've got that. Let me just find you a keyboard and mouse.
Yes. Whoops.
Keyboard and mouse.
Sweet.
Oh, actually. Yeah, no, that's fine. Keep going. I'm doing a bizarre switch around because of whatever.
Okay.
Right, Kronk, pull the lever! Oh, the PCIe I/O looks very wonky. Yeah, what the hell is that? That's the capture card that's in wonky, I think. Let's have a quick check. Yeah, oh, yeah, the capture card isn't screwed in. That's why it looks mega wonky. Yeah, the cards aren't screwed in. We'll drop some screws into those in a moment.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's where they've splayed like
yeah,
that.
that's why the I/O looks really wonky though. Okay, it's doing its thing. Fractal North has that side fan mount. Nice to keep add-on cards cool. Yeah, it's not something that I would use, but again, I like that options like this exist, so people who are doing weird stuff have those options. This has got different RAM in, so it's going to take 10,000 days to RAM train.
Probably.
We have blinking lights. We sure do. That's how you know it's working. What's that postcode? It looks like it's stopped on one.
Yeah, A6, aren't they?
Yeah.
I'll just
Well, I'll reset it, I guess. That's the problem. We've got no memory on what settings were dialed in on this board.
Oh.
I think mine might need to be unplugged for 10 seconds, or is it? Oh yeah, no, it's counting again. Cool.
Yeah.
What capture card is it? It's an Ava Media Live Gamer 4K.
It's whatever the 4K one, 4K 60 is. It's the same one we got there.
No kaboom is no fun. Yeah, sorry to disappoint. Oh, it looks like PCI Express is initialized because the capture card is fluorescing. Just waiting for the monitor to light up. what will happen with repaired motherboard on last stream. It's being sent back to Mike. I don't know what Mike is doing with it yet, though.
Oh yeah, it is on.
Yeah, Mike, do you know what you're doing with the with that motherboard yet, or are you just going to sit on it until you find a use for it? Oh yeah, you might want to check that it's on HDMI. No, it is on HDMI 1 because I was using it earlier on. Has the board said it's posted then?
Basically,
Oh, yeah. Okay. The computer is saying it is posted, but we've got no signal out.
Okay. Whack.
What's the reg diagnostic light that I can see on the center of the board?
Not sure. What I'm going to do is turn it off and pull out the capture card.
Yeah.
Huh.
Put the card in straight. Yeah, that's not the well, the capture. I don't think that's the problem.
No, but I am just going to pull.
Yeah.
the capture card
However,
out.
because it's not running at the moment, we'll just quickly simplify slightly. Like the capture card was in a little bit wonky, but
yeah, I'll just shove
Yeah.
that all the way in.
yeah, it's probably worth actually putting a screw in it, just so it's actually sitting in place. Because it's a big enough card that if it's sitting wonky, that might actually just be upsetting it.
Ha.
You require a magnet.
There we go.
Ba, 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 ba.
Problem with that is the quick release bit. There you go.
Cool.
Good. That's in. That's in. Fine.
Groovy.
There.
All right, third time's the charm.
No idea what that is.
Right, here we go. One of the GPU fans is catching just a slight glint on the camera, so you can just see a little whirligig in there. There we go. There's post.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So yeah, I think the graphics card just wasn't quite in right. Behold, post. Are we booting to Windows? No,
There you
good.
go.
Yeah, there we go. So yes, it has posted. Huzzah!
Did it.
Cool. All right. Bow. Groovy. So yeah, do a little bit of wrangling to get that capture card to fit, or it'll
Yeah.
need to drop down onto a low slot. I mean, you could put it all the way down the bottom.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
I
only
think-
because I was going to put a fan here
Oh right,
on
yeah,
that and just blow all the way
yeah,
through and basically do intake here, exhaust here.
yeah. You might not need it. Like as someone who as a Fractal Torrent owner, I've got dual 180mm fans directly underneath my graphics card. They actually don't make a huge difference in the grand scheme of things.
But it's just a case of because there was no other intake.
Yeah, sure. I suppose. Like if you're not running mesh panels on that, it's just going to suck air through there anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right.
Can probably get away with just leaving it on this.
Yeah, I would think so. If if you were putting all of the mesh panels on it and everything, then I would probably want a little bit of forced airflow.
Yeah.
But if you're going to run it with the mesh panels off, then there. Failing that, you could just try it and just see how you get on. All right. Cool. Right. That's a winner then. That's it. That's all we got for you
Basically,
today.
and it's reasonably compact.
Yeah, it's still pretty compact for it's full ATX and it's still pretty compact. It's a bummer that you really need that SFF power supply. It's one of those, like, technically it will fit an ATX power supply, but you're going to have a bad time if you try and put an ATX power supply in there. I
you
think.
could put an ATX power supply in there
Yeah.
without all-in-one.
Yeah, if you're using an air cooler and a more modest graphics card,
Yeah,
if you're actually building it,
you've got all of that space.
yeah. If you're actually building it up to a high power PC, though, it needs a small form factor. So yeah, this has been a conversation in English. I have enjoyed this conversation in English.
Yeah, nice.
All right.
Did it.
Yeah.
PC built.
Done and done. Right, thank you very much for tuning in. We'll be back next week with something else.
Yeah.
Possibly another PC build if I get a graphics card for the XPG rig. Not going to be an exciting PC build, but just a standard one.
Graphics.
I've got parts and I'm going to put them together and sell it.
Yeah.
Like some kind of computer shop. So yeah. Do I still like Periphery? I do still enjoy Periphery. But thanks for tuning in, folks. We'll be back next week. Thank you all, and we'll see you all soon. Bye for now. If you want to hear more of my dumb voice, I will be streaming on Twitch on Monday night because I'm seeing family tomorrow. And I'll be playing more of Nine Souls. So stick around. I say stick around. Tune in to my Twitch stream. Link in the description below on Monday night if you so desire. Otherwise, I'll see you soon. Thank you very much and goodbye. End stream.
Au revoir.
Wow.